Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. Pubsportsradio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50? You son of a bitch! Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97 home. That is way to go. Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian, Billy Friedrich, Joe's one, they're all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Clark up Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicap a more dapper than a Dom. By the young phenom known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. You want a top 10, we above it. Let's check.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, January 14th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have action coming in from the chat. Rez Mob cashing his respect play of the day yesterday, and he's on Ole Miss plus 10 today. Now, that is also a spot that Spooner is on, and I came close to. I came close to. I didn't move on them. I have 8 games. I've cut the volume down a little bit in college basketball. Concerned about last week and don't want to hammer it too hard here. Maybe get a little confidence from today. We fire a little more at tomorrow's card. I'm going to get the Spooners action here on my worksheet as well. So we do have the corner of Respect Boulevard from Res Mob and Morgan Spooner here. So let me get this up here, copied and pasted from the Spoon Dog. We have a great show for you guys today. We have AM Sportspicks capping NHL with me. Then Jose will be going through my 8 games. He'll set up my 8 games in college basketball. And then we have Darryl Rice for NBA. So we are locked and loaded. It's not too big of a card. We got Gorkle on Morocco to win in AFCON in regulation. And Gorkle on Cholet here in Champions League Euro basketball for the Gorkle. Stacks play today, number 1, Philadelphia 76ers team total over 119.5. And number 2 is TCU, the Horned Frogs. The Horned Frogs being backed by Justin McKelvey. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Swiggy is the Buffalo Sabres parlayed with the LA Clippers for a plus 100 spot. J-Dub is on the Philadelphia Flyers here. God, I'm looking forward to talk about that game. I did come close to the Flyers, but I was unable to pull the trigger. Let's get this all locked in. We got Steve G in the house. Los Chudy ready to get to work. Nicholas Handy. Steve G off another big day. The National Hockey League, I love to see it. Saturated off his monstrous weekend, ready to rock and roll with us. We have Kong's Clip says, I will continue to fade Louisville while Brown is out. Virginia plus 4.5. There's Spooner in the house. Let's get this copied and pasted. Saturated, we are breaking that game down because I have moved on it. And I guess you can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm not backing your Illini. I know they're a professional outfit full of veteran Euros, but I'm taking Northwestern plus 8.5. We'll go over all of that with some concern. Nordy in the house. We got BT. It is not long from now. Well, we're going to be rolling with Big T. BT down at Pubapalooza. Man. Can't wait to see you, BT, man. Can't wait to be down at the Southtown 101. We're like 70 days away from warmth, glory, action. Oh, in the Southtown 101, man. BT will be seeing you shortly. Great to see you guys. Kong's Clip says 227 days until college football starts. He's a sad man after cash. Christopher Carter in the house. Let's roll here. Christopher Carter says, getting my future pool 3 bets together. I love it, Christopher Carter. I'm looking forward to hear your plan of attack. Not far from now. Isn't that crazy? And the run for the Roses is not far from now. Ronnie Lofton, Fernando Mendoza, Robert McCormick, my dude. 40 kid in the house on Boston University. Now it's at 3.5. Wow. Yes, that is the spot that Spooner is on. And that was closer. That came very, very close. Unfortunately, we don't have the action on the same game. In fact, one of them were against each other, which does not bode well for me. Great to see all of you guys. We got AFCON action from Los Chudy. He is on Senegal. That's going on right now. We got Jay Peasy checking in from North Hollywood. Says, yeah, we need the new intro. I'm pumped up about it. But I'm going to keep everybody in the dark. I'd like to keep everybody in the dark here. My dude says, you looking at any NBA futures? Yes, just the one that I bet, and that's the Spurs at 33-1 for the chip and 16-1 for the conference. That's it at this point. Those are my only NBA futures at this point. Philly Eagle Flyer ready to get to work. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't worry, Swig. We're meeting this week about it. We have the foundation, so I'll talk to you and Jose about it. Thank you guys for joining us. It is time to start our work and get into the National Hockey League. We have just the capper to guide us to the window to get us paid. Please welcome a man who you have hopefully been capping with in our Discord. He is being a beast in there as he has an NFL pub on our live streams. Please welcome AM Sportspicks in the house. AM, what's good, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm still a little under the weather, but nothing will keep us away from betting some games, you know.
I feel you. Yeah, it feels like we are all sick here. I'm trying to get better. It's not happening. We have our guy Kent Davies back from Vegas, down, but not from sports though. Okay, well let's get right into sports, Kent Davies, and get you back into the black. Let's go 7 p.m. Eastern. The Seattle Kraken 21-15-8, 11-8-3 on the road. New Jersey Devils 23-21-2, 11-8-2 at home. Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. I don't think people realize just how good McCann is, how important Jared McCann is to this Kraken hockey team, how good he'd look on any team in the National Hockey League. He, back 12 years ago was a first-round pick by the Canucks. Of course, we got him for a season before we ditched him for nothing. But he is so important to this hockey team. He's been back for 20 games. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I bet you they're 15-5 in the games that he's played. That's how important he is to this team, because they've always had a strong defense. Brandon Montour is out right now. They've had a strong defense. It's been confusing to watch how bad they've been. Sometimes you could point it to goaltending. The Cord's not been very good this year. Grubauer over the last couple of years has been absolute trash. But they're playing their best hockey in a long, long time. We have Kent Davies on Ottawa 3 ways. I'm going to fade Weimer, and we'll get into that without trying to not bet the Rangers. It's very tricky, but we'll go over all of that here in a second. Let's get into the line history for our first spot on the board here. Sorry, I got too many of these up. Jesus. Oh, here we go. Let's get into the line history here. We have a big move towards the Kraken. They opened up at plus 141. They're down to plus 123. I know that just my 2 cents is on the Kraken, and he got plus 136. Great work by TC. I was late to the party. I was really hammering that 60 games of college basketball, which I'm sure you guys are all battling. It took so long. We have this total at 6. It's minus 115 to the under. Open up minus 120 to the under. Jacob Markstrom between the pipes, we think, for the Devils. Look, the Devils are falling apart at the seams. They've benched Dougie Hamilton, healthy scratched him, brought him back. He looked quite good. How much of their contract are they going to take? They're trying to get rid of him. $9 million is a lot of money. So how much are they going to hold on to? That's being negotiated right now, because Dougie Hamilton can still step into a lineup and help, but just not at $9 million per. So let's roll here. Seattle power play 10th in the NHL right now. Their penalty killing has been the worst in the NHL all year long. It's been a little better over the last little while. New Jersey Devils power play 14th, penalty killing 26th. There's our guy Ronnie Crawford in the house. The Kraken coming off a 4-2 win at the Rangers on Monday night on game 2 of this 5-game road trip. This is the first of a back-to-back as they play at Boston tomorrow night. That had me hesitating as well. The Devils snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 5-2 win at Minnesota on Monday, and they're getting healthier. It's just Stefan Nason and Zach McEwen, a couple right wingers that are out of the lineup right now. I think that the Devils are a mess, that they're going to completely let go. I've disliked what Tom Fitzgerald has done for 2 or 3 years. I called for him to be fired last year. Now it's, showing all the bad decisions, the huge contracts. I mean, this would be the first team that we've seen. I'd like to go back to see when 40 years that got number 1 overall picks, 50 years, or maybe the first team ever. Like that got number 1 overall picks and it hasn't been able to move to the promised land. How long did it take the Penguins to win the Stanley Cup with Crosby and Malkin? It took Crosby till he was 21 years old. How long did it take Taves and Kane to win the Stanley Cup? It took Ovechkin a little while to win the Stanley Cup, but Hughes and Hischier just have not done the job, and I want them to blow up. I'm not a Keefe fan. I hate Tom Fitzgerald. I kind of liked him as a hockey player, but I hate him as an executive. I hate Markstrom, and I'm on the Kraken at plus 125. Take it away. Oh, we got Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day as well. If you're listening on your headphones at work, turn it down a little bit because some Ron Crawford spreadsheet death metal coming in. I'm kicking the Devils while they're down, AM. What's your plan here?
This is a game I'm staying away from. I think the total really is a coin flip. If the Devils get back to playing their style of hockey, I'd probably lean towards the under. But I can see this game going a lot of ways. I do think that the Devils are going to be trending towards getting a lot more goals. They've kind of been unfortunate the last, I'd say, 10 games or so. They've had a lot of good chances. They just haven't been able to actually score. So I think they have a lot of positive regression coming for them as far as goals. And I also think in that same turn, I think Seattle's got some negative regression coming. I'm not advocating to bet the Devils, but I'm not really interested in betting the Kraken here either. If you just look at kind of what they've done recently, I get it. Why are the Devils priced like this? It's hard to understand why they're commanding this kind of price, just from what they've done, even at home. But like I said, just some of the underlying numbers, I wouldn't be shocked if the Devils handle business here tonight. So I'm staying away, but good luck to everyone on the Kraken here. We'll see what happens.
That's a fair assessment for sure. Kraken regression, Devils progression. What happens now is who's going to be traded, who's going to be fired. That's what's going on in New Jersey. That can weigh pretty heavy at times. So I'm curious to see, because Keefe is just about to be fired. Fitzgerald is just about to be fired. Trades are just about to be made. Now, who wants Timo Meier at 9? Who wants Dougie Hamilton at 9? These contracts are absolutely trash, but I think that, Steve G on the under 6, I think everything you said is very valid. Very valid. I am on the Kraken at the plus 125. I am trying to put my foot on the throat of the Devils, and it is a little too early to do that. And one of the things that's going to mess with our season is the Olympic break, because that is when we put our foot on the throats of the teams that are falling apart. Now those teams get a break and a refresher. So it's going to be a little different than last year. I'm on the Kraken money line. Let's roll on to our second spot on the board. I did pull out my, we're talking about NBA futures. I did pull out my NHL futures last night and just, went over them once again. And I've not made an NHL future bet since October 7th when I laid in my first chunk of bets, which is a good sign. I personally, I'm trying to cut down my future bets. My first bet, as you guys know, was on July 2nd. The Canucks to miss the playoffs, minus 135 max bet. And I should have times it by 5. I should have called in and said I need to bet more on this. And it never moved, AM. This was minus 135 at the start of the season. It didn't move.
It looks good now. It looks really good.
Then these are the bets I made on October 7th, just to go over them all. And it's not bad. I'm sitting here with 11, including the Canucks bet. But I have Avalanche to win the Cup at plus 900. The Hurricanes to win the Met at plus 120. The Knights to win the Pacific at plus 150. I don't think I'm going to cash that. I'm shocked that they're still in first with how bad they've been. The Ducks to make the playoffs at plus 270. That's probably going to be a loser now with the fall from grace, but you never know. They can turn around. Ducks over 82.5 points. And then my season points, I don't want to get too caught up in it, but I don't see why I don't go 6-0 with these. Now, Ducks over 82.5 points, Wild over 95.5 points, Sharks over 70.5 points, Flames under 83.5 points, Devils under 99.5 points, and the Leafs under 99.5 points. So those are my 11 futures, and very thankful for it. Steve G says, nice call on fading the Canucks in perpetuity. Been catching on the fade. I screwed it up yesterday. I thought that -1 was too expensive, and I shouldn't. At this point, when you just need to beat hockey teams, it was a mistake. I got, because I'm not having a winning season, as you can see with my shit-ass record. So I'm reaching at times when I wouldn't generally. So I screwed that up last night. And I didn't take the team total under because I didn't really know what the Senators were doing here. So I screwed that up. I talked about your action, TC, on the Kraken. I read about it in our Discord this morning. Let's roll on to game 2 here. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Flyers 22-14 and 8. 10-7-3 on the road. The Buffalo Sabres 24-16 and 4, 14-6-2 at home at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. Dan Vladar, I have listed 16-7 and 4, 2.42 goals against average, 907 save percentage, no shutouts. For Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 9-6-1, 2.63 goals against average, 903 save percentage, no shutouts. Philadelphia, all of a sudden, has the worst power play in the National Hockey League again, just like they did last year. It took a different route. It's so funny. I listened to this great podcast about the Flyers power play last year, how they brought in these specialists to fix it. Nothing could be done. And then they got off to an okay start, which was expected. That's the reason why Drysdale was brought in. You'd think with Michkov, at the hash marks, that this would turn around. It has not. It's now second last in the NHL and last over the last little while. 14th ranked penalty kill, even that's slipping. Buffalo power play at 17.8% and penalty killing 4th in the NHL. It's still 84.7%. So it's been very good. Flyers coming off their first straight loss, 5-1 at home to the Lightning. The Lightning beat them by a combined score of 12-3 over 2 games in Tampa. This is the first of a back-to-back. And this is the problem, man, is they play at Pittsburgh tomorrow night. And we know what the Battle of Pennsylvania is like.
Yeah, it's a big game, man.
It's so intense. It might be the number one rivalry in the National Hockey League. It's just so that slowed me down from thinking that the Flyers were at a beautiful big number, and then we had to figure out why is the number so big. We have Bobby Brink, right winger, day to day. Jamie Drysdale's close to returning, whom we just spoke of, and Tyson Forster done for the season. Sabres coming off a 4-3 loss at home to the Panthers on Monday. It was only their second loss over the last 15 games, and this is a first of a home back-to-back. They host the Habs tomorrow night, which means they'll have fans in the stands. This is also game 3 of a 5-game homestand, which is a pretty nice situation for them to be in. We have the total at 6. It's minus 126 to the over. This opened up minus 125 to the over, and there was a big move towards the under last night. This moved 15 cents towards the under last night, and it's come back 14 cents. So it's come right back. From a money line standpoint here, we have the Flyers at plus 124. Look, I think the Flyers are a good hockey team. They opened up plus 128. They're now plus 124, but I understand why the Sabres are this big of a favorite. I don't really like to fade teams after they play. I don't think there is an elite team in the Eastern Conference, but the Lightning might be the closest to them, even despite not having Hedman and having Point hurt. And I'm hesitant to fade the Flyers after getting beaten up by the Lightning back-to-back. Take it away, AM. I'm all ears.
This is a game I did bet. I'm on the Flyers here at plus 130. This is where I normally like to bet against teams. I think the Sabres have been, extremely hot. And then now that they've dropped a game, it's one of those systems I bet into after winning 3 straight, drop a game, bet against them. And then on the other side, you have the Flyers that have been struggling, getting beat up by the Lightning, like you said. This is there's 2 systems for me that are pointing me to the Flyers here. So I'm more than happy to take the chance. I do agree it is a look ahead with the Penguins on deck, but I mean, take a step back a month ago. If you were getting these prices, I mean, you would you kind of laugh at it. So I still think that we're getting value here on the Flyers. A lot having to do with the Sabres have looked incredible, but I don't think that's going to continue all season. I think we'll probably start to simmer out here a little bit. I think Sabres will still be competitive throughout the season, but this is probably the peak of their little run, I would say. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, so I'm on the Flyers plus 130. I don't really have an opinion on the total here. So, yeah, just Flyers for me.
I love that, Kevin Adams got fired and they went on this huge run. Made me very happy. Jarmo Kekalainen, who's now the GM, he's the reason the Jackets fell apart. Remember, the Jackets took out the Lightning, swept them. They were big and tough and mean and fast. And look, I know this is not, I'm not Don Cherry here going off on European, management or anything like that. But they had a big, fast, tough hockey team. And Kekalainen came in and turned them into a trash hockey team that wasn't big, wasn't fast. He focused on skill. He brought in a bunch of Euros. Chinnikov was a huge bust. Now they've not all been busts, but I like that Kevin Adams got fired and they went on this winning streak. They have a really nice defensive core, man. It's not hard to put forwards around this group. All right, let's roll on. We have Vladar just confirmed. Nasty Nate says, Spenny, the Pats smash again. Certainly the market indicating that is the case here. Jeff, thank you so much, my friend. It is wonderful. The battle is so real. By the way, our bankroll blitz is tonight at 8 p.m. So the battle is real, and thank you for the kind words there. Give us a little inspiration as we roll into the next spot, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Senators playing the New York Rangers. Where the hell has James Reimer been? Where's he been?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. He's not been playing goaltender. What the hell are we supposed to believe? That James Reimer, do I still have his hockey DB up? It's hideous. Let me pull it up. We're supposed to sit back and believe that James Reimer is just going to come in here at 37 years of age, not playing all season long. Well, how did he do in his one warm-up game for Belleville? Oh, he allowed 6 goals. This is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. So I was like, how do I back him? Ron, what was he doing in Rochester? What was he doing in Dirty Chester, man? He wasn't playing games. Was he practicing with the Rochester American? I guess that's what he was doing. Now, Kent Davies says, you always say teams step up for these guys. They step up for these guys when they've earned the opportunity to be back. James Reimer hasn't done that. James Reimer has played 1 game of hockey in professional hockey this year. 1. So, look, I do not want to back the Rangers in any form, but I'm like, how do I take advantage of knowing that Reimer is going to look terrible, knowing that Johnny Quick is trash? I told you guys this 2 weeks ago. Look, I know my record is bad right now, and I'm going to change it. And I've been saying that for a while, and it's not changing fast enough. But I said when Johnny Quick had a .938 save percentage, we'll check out his stats when he's the number 1 goaltender if he stays healthy long enough. He's just being destroyed. So I'm still figuring out how the hell do I take advantage of this? So what did I do? I took the first. Okay, so first I was like, well, I'm going to take team total overs for both teams, but you'd have to take a 3.5. And it would have to be, then you get plus 130, plus 135. And odds are you're going to cash one and lose the other if you're lucky. You could screw this all up, And so I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any risk reward sense. So I took the first period over. That's the first period over I bet all year. You guys know I'm not an over better. So I took the first period over 1.5. I took the full game over 6. And I'm not done. I got to take the Rangers. Team total over. I have to take it. And Kent Davies, again, when there's a 37-year-old goaltender who has spent the whole year in the A, and he's, trying to get that call, and he gets that call, we all rally around him. When the guy is being, I don't know what he's doing. I'm surprised that he's been in Rochester. I mean, we know this guy's from Morwena, Manitoba. Why is he not up there? I don't know where Marina is. I've toured all across the country doing stand-up, but I've never been through Marina. Okay, so that's the situation. Ottawa power play ranked 9th. This is the second worst penalty killing in the league. And the Rangers have a very strong power play. Now, you could comfortably say this power play is trash, without Adam Fox. With now JT Miller is back. That's a big deal to me. I know it's maybe not as big as it is to others. Matty Ice in the house. What up, Matty Ice? We got the Godfather ready to get to work. So the Senators on the second half of back-to-back after snapping their 4-game losing streak with a 2-1 win at home over the lowly Canucks last night. If we believe these rumors about Ullmark, I mean, will it matter that James Reimer strolls in? Like, I don't. Ottawa's a healthy group. It's just Ullmark out of the lineup. Rangers coming off their 7 loss in 8 games, 4-2 at home to Seattle on Monday. Here we go. AM, take it away. This is absolutely ludicrous situation in goal here. I mean, we have these two guys who should have been. Well, I kind of like what Quick's done as a backup, but take it away, AM, my man.
Yeah, I didn't actually know about the goalie situation, but it spooks me a little bit. I am actually on the Rangers here. They fit a system for me. So I just bet into these systems that rely on situations and pricing. As long as you can get the Rangers at a dog price, I think you should bet them here. I get it though. It's hard to be, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the league, it is hard to want to bet the Rangers at home, let alone just in general right now. They look bad. But, they might be able to catch Ottawa here, back to back. And with James Reimer, it's a possibility. It is a little, like I said, it is a little spooky that there's, books are still offering you a pretty fair price on the Rangers with James Reimer in net, but could also be sentiment to how bad the Rangers have looked recently. So, and at home, I mean, 5-12 home record's not looking good at all. As far as a total, I still would, I know James Reimer's in net. I think that does probably change things. It's just, man, if you can get a 6.5, I do kind of lean towards the under. Just purely because just Rangers and unders at home have just something I don't want to get in the way of. But, in the same turn, I mean, they've been allowing a lot of goals recently, and, James Reimer should help them put up a little bit more tonight. So, like I said, just Rangers for me, but just some thoughts I'll share.
What did you get the Rangers at?
Plus 101.
Plus 101. We have Philly Eagle Flyer says, he hates the Rangers, but got to go Rangers team total over 1.5 in each period and hope to hit 2 of them. You know what? I'm with you, Philly Eagle Flyer, and I'm with AM. Look, this isn't how this works. In fact, I've never seen this before. I've never seen it in my life. They played one game. I mean, there's just no way he can be properly. I mean, he's like, look.
It's weird that they're favored too. That's what's throwing me off.
But you nailed it. The Rangers have won 5 games out of 21 at home in regulation. 5.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is if you've been watching what the Rangers have been doing of recent, and you look at just how they've been at home, who and you're barely getting even money. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of other teams that you would rather take in that situation. Just if you look at those kind of stats objectively, but it's a weird game. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
The problem is that with this kind of volatility, you don't want to invest too much money. And I cut it down. I felt like I cut it down, but I need to add to my fade of Reimer. It's just, and again,
I get it. I mean, I think they should have some motivation to put up some goals. I mean, they've been embarrassed the last few games, and then not to mention, I think overall the general consensus, I'd say from the public, is just don't bet this team anymore. I think the last remaining believers were on them against the Kraken, because I mean, who wouldn't? After getting beat 10-2, you get Kraken, who aren't really world beaters or anything, and you're at home, and they still get embarrassed. So yeah, I don't know who's real interested in the Rangers here. So it'll be interesting.
I'm with you. God, I'd like to get the Rangers and the Rangers team total over.
Yeah.
I'd like to do both. Steve, Kenneth, James, I've not manicured anything ever, with all due respect. When you're manicuring your mustache, I hope you're not getting hammered by your pal while that's happening. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 10 p.m. Eastern with the Vegas Golden Knights, 21-11-12, 11-5-6 on the road at the LA Kings, 19-16-10, 7-10-5 at home. We're at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Akira Schmid and Darcy Kemper. Schmid 13-4-5, 2.49 goals against average, 895 save percentage, 2 shutouts, going up against Kemper, 2.49 goals against average, 905 save percentage and 2 shutouts. 4th ranked power play for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, here's the problem. The Leafs are coming to town tomorrow. And it's all that's being talked about up here is that, Marner going to play Marner. Everybody's talking about it here. And it's a problem. I see Thomas Rooney here on the Kings money line. Kings power play 27th. It's horrific. And they're keeping Kuzmenko on the ice, which is, he's so bad, but that's how bad their power play is that they'll have him out there despite all the defensive issues and all the problems in the locker room and everything. The Kings coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 3-1 at home over the Stars on Tuesday. So Anza Kopitar, Trevor Moore, and Joel Armia are all out for the Kings. And, I found this game tricky because the Kings, again, aren't playing good hockey. They're such a tricky team to figure out, but Kopitar, as slow as he is, having that big center, winning face-offs and imposing his will on the opposition is very important. And if you look at when did they start losing, Kopitar got hurt in game 2 against Minnesota. So, they beat Minnesota back-to-back games, and then what did Minnesota come? Did Minnesota come back home and start winning hockey games and show how good the Kings are? No, the Wild have been losing. And here we have the Knights on a 4-game winning streak, starting to play their best hockey. I found this game pretty tricky. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Vegas at -113. They opened up at -107. This has been bouncing all over the place, up to -115, back to -105, up, down, back and forth. And then from a total standpoint here, we have a 5.5 -123 to the over. This opened up -125 to the over, so it's not really moving here. No, Thomas Rooney, we have college basketball next. Oh, nice. Wasabi Jay going to this game tonight. Oh, that's this one's at Crypto though, Wasabi. You mean tomorrow night if you're in Vegas. Tomorrow night. But take it away for us here, AM Knights Kings in Los Angeles.
Yeah, well, I'll just address one thing right off the bat. Whenever these two teams meet up, there just always seems to be goals. I don't know why. Just it seems to be the case. I don't know. Every time I see these two teams play, it ends up being this ridiculous shootout. So I'd probably lean towards the over. I think this is a bluff of a 5.5. But I will say there's systems for me pointing me towards Vegas, but definitely not at the price. But this seems like the stinky line of the day. I mean, what in the, I agree with what you're saying. The Kings aren't playing good, or anything to really, even on the season, it's not like they have a winning home record. Vegas has been good on the road. I think there's probably some truth to what you were talking about. I think this is probably a look ahead spot. This line is kind of saying, hey, dangling the Knights in front of you. They've been playing great, and to not even really be getting, a real nice dog price for the Kings here is kind of interesting. So I'd probably lean towards the Kings because of that. I'm not going to bet it myself. But those would be my two leans: is the over and Kings. But it's a game I'm staying away from ultimately.
I think I kind of want to take advantage of this Kings team without Trevor Moore and Anza Kopitar. This is such character quality guys there. I mean, couldn't we see a world where the Knights beat the Kings maybe 4-2 pretty soundly and then come home and lose to the Leafs after the Leafs lost 6-1 to Utah?
Yeah. Like I said, there's a system that's pointing me towards the Knights here to just keep on running with them because they're running hot. It's just I would need them at a dog price, and that's what keeps me away from it. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at X's and O's, that's kind of the point I'm making. X's and O's. Why is Vegas so cheap here? I think they're above and beyond the better team here, and have the better future outlook on the season. I mean, so far this hasn't been it's almost like the books are pretending that this is like the Kings of last year where they were dominant at home, and they just haven't been. It's actually been, the opposite. They've been way better on the road. And that's why I think this is kind of a stinky line. I wonder if the books are, I think they may have the perception that they're going to be, just because of how they've been priced all season. I think they're under the presumption that the Kings will start to become a dominant home team and probably go on, the home run at some point during the season. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't. I understand if anyone's on the Knights here, but with the price and the look ahead spot that you described, it'd be Kings only for me.
Coin saying dogs in LA games are 12-7 straight up. I mean, I know they're on a 4-game win streak, but we know what's happened. Shea Theodore came back, and he's only been back for 2 games. Look what's happened in those 2 games. They beat St. Louis 4-2 at home, and then followed that up the next night, second night back-to-back, and beat San Jose 7-2. So they've outscored their opponents 11-4 with Shea Theodore back. And look what he's done. He played 23 minutes and 5 seconds. He's a +4 in those 2 games. He scored goals in both games. I mean, there's a reason why he's on Team Canada. I would like to back them here, but I still beating myself up for not being on Utah last night. Of course, the Leafs are going to, after beating the Abs in overtime, of course they're going to. And I've been backing. I said I thought that the Mammoth could sweep the homestand, and I lose 3-2 to the Jackets in Game 3 of the homestand, and I get flustered. I get upset because I lose to such a bad team. Okay. Warbuck says Knights are a wagon right now. He'll be putting his hard-earned money on them tonight. I can write a script easily here where the Knights take care of business against the Kings. And, and also that was on Sunday that the Knights beat the Sharks. So they've had a couple days before this home. I think I could add the Knights. I think it's possible to add the Knights. I think I might run the Warbucks here. Let's review all action before we get into college basketball here. We have Kraken at +125 for me. The Flyers at +130 for AM. We have Justin McKelvey on the over. In that one, over 6. He got over 6, -121. We have just my 2 cents on the Flyers as well. Then we have AM on the Rangers +101. Now I'm on the first period over. That's my first period over of the year. I'm on the full game over 6. And I want more fading Reimer. I mean, this is just, he's acting as if it's easy to be goaltender of the National Hockey League. Right? He's acting like this is just a walk in the park. Do I still have his? Yeah. So here is Reimer, who's acting like it's easy to be in the National Hockey League. He's not had I guess he might have barely been under 3 if you count the Sabres and the Ducks last year. I mean, look at these seasons. In 22-23 with the Sharks, 3.48 goals against average, 890 save percentage. I mean, in the last 5 years, he hasn't had a save percentage over 904.
How was he last year? I thought, was he in the league last year?
Yeah, he played for the Sabres for.
I thought he was pretty serviceable at
with the
times.
Ducks. Yeah, he played in
Last season at least.
10-8-2, 2.85 goals against average, 901 save percentage. I just don't understand how you can take this much time off here.
Yeah.
It's just I don't buy it. All right, great job, AM, my man. So the additions, I'm either going to add the Rangers money line and the Rangers team total over, or both, and just go all in. It scares me to do that.
Yeah.
It scares
I mean,
me.
like I was even saying about the Knights, I think value's all over the Knights here, but it almost seems like, sometimes lines, you can kind of read what the books are thinking a little bit or try to. And, I don't hate on anyone betting the Knights here, and Knights are definitely the better team. It just, some lines look suspicious, and, we saw the Stars last night. Who wouldn't want to bet the Stars last night? And they lay an egg against the Ducks. So,
Yeah, but that's also 10 years ago, I would have been on the Ducks for sure, because when any team gets swept on a road trip, I used to just blindly back them when they came home. But I've stopped doing that. But yes, I agree. This Knights Kings, the bigger problem with Knights Kings. Okay, there's two things here. If you are, and I know that the books aren't, they have their models, they take these players out. But if you're judging the Kings off of their statistical profile, Trevor Moore and Anze Kopitar are two of the highest character players in the National Hockey League. They're tough, they're big, they're leaders. They can be put in every situation. Now they're not on the ice. They haven't been for 4 games, and look what they've done. But the Leafs are waiting for you can't turn on the radio right now, and it's only that,
Yeah, and but books definitely price all those weird things in. I mean, that's why, again, and when you see a weird line, doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's worth calling their bluff and betting the side that looks like the bad value. But yeah.
Well, let's go get that cash. AM Sportspicks, fighting the good fight to be here with us. I'm gonna pop your X handle here in the chat. AM, thank you for rocking with us, man. AM, we rock with us on Wednesdays as we move forward. AM, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Always nice seeing what you guys are on. Appreciate it. It's just interesting to see what everyone's looking at, no matter what league it is. Gives me either some more confidence on mine, or makes me a little nervous. But like I said, just more information always helps. So, and then thanks for having me on, Jimmy and Jose. I'll see you guys around. See you in the chat.
Much love. There he is, AM Sportspicks. I'm going to drop his X handle here in the chat. Hit that link. Support our guy, AM Sportspicks. Just before we leave NHL, Adams Digest says Flyers Buffalo will be the game of the night. Says love the over 6 at that price. Both teams tied in the standings for last wildcard spot. Could see a draw here too, with both teams needing points. Now we're getting closer to that too, and I talk about this around this time of year. So now we know the best live bet in the National Hockey League. Now it's not quite here. It'll be here and then the Olympic break's going to mess it up. But it's when two teams in the same division are tied 2-2 going into the third period, and it's a live under 6.5. And my ROI is insane. Two divisional teams who need the point, they play for the point. Over and over and over again. Now, you need to be in the last 25, 30 games of the year, and we're almost there. So keep that in mind. 40 Kids said, speaking of Flyers, excited about the new ECHL team in Trenton. Oh, I love that, man. Going to watch a lot of live hockey. I love that. All right, it is time to move in to college basketball. And we know these swings that we deal with are not for the faint of heart. And the negative swing I took last week in college basketball, it threw me for a loop, messed with me. So I've cut my volume down a little bit. And what I decided to do here, and now with the divisional, conference play, I should say, is wait a little bit longer. So what I've been doing in non-conference play is getting my action out the night before with no knowledge of what's going on in the market, and not caring about where the cash is and hoping that I beat the lines. We're in conference play. I went over my numbers last year. I got hurt in conference play. And the one thing about life is like, you're going to get burnt. It's just part of life. You're going to get burnt. You just can't get burnt twice the same way. In all aspects of life. You can get burnt once that way, that's fine. But you got to create boundaries to not get burnt in the same way. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Kong says almost time to jump in on college basketball for him. Late January, early February is when he starts hammering. We got Dabby Cab, the Magic Man, in the house. And we have our producer, the backbone of Pub Sports Radio, ready to join us and attack the card. He's heading to Vegas this week. So those of you in Vegas, take good care of our Jose Bouquet. And he already knows. So if you're a street hooker, he knows you're just trying to rob him. He knows that. He's well versed. We've taught him that these street hookers are just going to rob him. So he knows that. But be good to him. Be good to him, Vegas. Please welcome SN1P5, Jose Bouquet in the house. Jose, how are you? You pumped up, man? Vegas week?
The bankroll's looking a little light, so not as much. But we'll survive. You battle, you survive. So it's gonna be fun. Unfortunately, Jimmy, the street hookers and my knowledge of they're probably going to rob me has not stopped me from getting robbed before. So, I'm a mark.
Have you been robbed by a street hooker?
No, I just get, I'm a mark. I get paid $30 or whatever to get into a free horse track. Yeah, you could walk up to me at a gas station, say that you have this cologne that is can't travel with because it's in your bag. You're going to Italy, and then you'll ask me like, "Oh, it'll be like $60," and then I'll say I've got 20, and then you'll immediately take my $20 and then walk away. I'm just very susceptible to those things.
Well, our friend Nicky Fish Tanks. Old Nicky Fish Tanks. Do you remember what happened to him when the first time he went to Vegas?
I don't.
He's walking past the fountains. Couple very excitedly dressed, big-titted women come up to him and they put their arms on his shoulder and he says, "Can I take some pictures?" And then they charge him $100 for those pictures.
Yeah, well, that's the game. That's the game. That's the game.
No, it's not the game. You can't. Oh man.
I respect those women.
I don't. But I don't respect no, I love Nicky Fish Tank, so I don't want to say anything negative. But look, if you lose bets, that's okay. If you get robbed by a street hooker or charged $100 to take a picture with some chick in front of fountains, you deserve to lose.
Did he pay the $100 though?
He did.
Well, he had no choice.
Yeah, you gave him the quick cash apped him.
It's like when you're in the strip club and the stripper takes you to the ATM, like she's got you over the balls.
Oh no, Justin fell for that trick in New York. Here's another important trick.
Oh, no.
And this is another important thing. Note for Canadians. Because Canadians, they go down to Vegas, they go to the strip clubs, they come out at 5 a.m. and they're like, "Oh, it's so warm. Feels so good to be outside. You know what? I'm just gonna walk back to my hotel." And they get robbed on their first turning left. So there's another hint. Don't walk home from the strip clubs either. Be ready, man. I don't even go out. I don't leave the sports book. I don't know why anybody leaves the sports book at all. I don't ever leave the sports book. But
well, I already told you about Friday night how I'm playing in a private poker game now, right?
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's actually a really cool idea. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Can you explain it to everybody too? So you guys are the Resorts World will bring you up a table into your room?
No, I think we get like our own like table in the poker room basically. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh,
obviously.
Okay.
So you just rent out that room and it's a private game. You get your dealer. You don't have to tip the dealer because it's all involved in the price apparently. And you can do that for every game, apparently. I didn't know you could rent out your own private blackjack table if you'd like. Stuff like that. I didn't know that. It's obviously doubly expensive, apparently, but the more you know.
That is something I didn't know either. I did go to Vegas one time with 40 people, and it was great.
Jesus.
But the last few times I've gone, I haven't been with, they've just been focusing on the action. Well, good luck here. And when do you leave for Vegas?
Thursday night, and I'll be hanging out with Sweaty Butcher Friday afternoon.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Can't wait. Yes. Shout out to Sweaty Butcher. I look forward to that. I also look forward to, I've already told Helga, she's nonplussed. I was like, oh yeah, we have, the welcome party or whatever. Right after I'm just fucking off with my friends and I'm going to go play in a private poker game. So I hope you have fun, being by yourself, doing whatever. So that would be very interesting.
Coin, she'll be fine. She'll be fine, man. It's Vegas. Don't worry. Just slide her. I guess the problem is you don't have enough cash to slide her $100.
Yeah, you think I've got fucking money?
Coin, yes, it's a Pub Sports Radio at gmail.com. pubsportsradio@gmail.com. All right, let's get to work. Jose Bouquet, my friend. Thank you for being here to set these up for me. I'm just going to move a couple things around here so I can get ready to rock. So I've made 8 bets in college basketball. That's down from the 23 that I made last Wednesday. So I'm trying to just stay in control here. As you guys know, it's a very slippery slope, and the psychology around winning and losing is pretty simple. When you're losing, you take more risks. You look for bigger dogs. You try to get, your volume goes up. When you're winning, you're smarter, you're sharper. You take less risks. You trust your instincts. And so I want to have a day here, and let's get started. I've made 8 bets here. The second game, I'm going up against our friend Spooner. Not a good place to be, but take it away. And so I'm going to pull up the Action Network cash flow. And I know it's not something we trust, but I'm going to pull it up here.
I'm beginning to like the sweet spots of where Wager Talk is showing that there's more bets and money on one side, a lot more, and then Action's telling a different story. Those are the spots I'm kind of enjoying more and more. And
can you explain it just for a second? Because you're thinking that Action is telling you where the public is, Wager Talk's telling you where the sharper cappers are. Is that why?
Yeah, essentially. Again, we don't want to bring up bad memories, but the other Tuesday when you got killed, it was all those spots where Wager had more bets and money on the one side, and I was just interested. I was like, what does Action have to say? Or is it more even on Action? We'll see. I mean, I personally am still not a fan of betting very heavily bet sides, but if I can justify this in my head mentally, I'll be able to make more bets on these sides.
Yeah, no, I think that's all important. Is it important enough for me to keep Action around?
That's a good question. That'll be determined, I guess, in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy, roll. I can't believe you would just say give Helga 4 units. 4 units, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, you gotta give $100.
4 units?
Yeah,
kidding me?
Yeah.
Again, everything sounds worse when you put it into my units. Everything sounds so much worse.
Godfather says Jayhawks were a nice play yesterday. They were, but let's focus on plays today, right now. Jose, take us. Get us started, my man.
East Tennessee, Western Carolina here. The mighty Western Carolina 7-point favorites are East Tennessee. It got down to 6.5. It opened up at 7, got down to 6, and even touched 5.5 at one point, and then shot back up here. Now that is at BOL. Let's check out another book.
Sorry, can you
here.
hit me with that again? Sorry, I was copying and pasting Thomas Rooney's action. Sorry, can you hit me with that again? What's going on?
At BOL, it says that it opened up at 7 and went down to 5.5 and has come back up to 7 here.
Okay.
At Bookmaker, let's just see now. At Bookmaker, this opened up at 5.5 and went up to 7. So that's interesting. And then at Heritage here, opened up at 6.5 and is now 7 here. So it's moved around a bunch. Where the anonymous gambler works has 6.5. here as well. They opened up at a 6. Across the board are 7s, but that is the only place with a 6.5 right now. And we have no side information on this game, but I can tell you that the under is heavily bet at 80% of the bets, 95% of the money on said under.
Over at Action, we have what I expected, and that 64% of the tickets and 75% of cash is on East Tennessee State. That's what I expected to see. 75 and 70 on the over here. I watched two of the last 3 games the Catamounts played. I watched them against Furman. I thought they played really well. At Furman, they won in overtime 80-77. And I didn't think they'd be able to follow that up again at Samford. And they did. They lost 82-77. Samford had a huge comeback. I cashed live with Samford. Samford was down 25-30 early. So they had 2 really strong road games. And Furman 3-1 in conference, 12-5 overall. Samford 2-2 in conference, 9-8 overall. So against 2 good teams. Then, and in this, again, I feel like this was a real possibility for what happened to them next. On Saturday, they went to Citadel, who is absolutely horrible, and lost in overtime because they started playing better basketball. And then they went and played the worst team in the conference, one of the worst teams in the nation, and just overlooked them. So it's an easy coaching point here for a team now. This is going to be their first home game in 2026. The last time they played at home, they lost to Wofford by 5. And, Wofford is a good team. And so are the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, undefeated in the SoCon, which is not comfortable. But this is their first road game of January. And, watching Western Carolina play, maybe I'm better off betting them first half. I didn't. I just took them full game. But I just feel like the situation with ETSU not traveling, not playing a road game here in 2026, winning 4 straight games and feeling good about themselves, going out on the road against a 5-10 Catamount team that just lost to the worst team in the conference. I don't know how ETSU doesn't sort of overlook them. And from a coaching point for West Carolina, they were playing good basketball. They didn't even look bad at Georgia before Christmas. I mean, they were playing their best basketball of the season, and then they played horrific. So I expect them to be better here. I'm on the Catamounts. I got plus 7.5 too, at minus 110. We talk about, at what point, what do you have more respect for in the marketplace? Well, I like that this line immediately moved towards the Catamounts. And it's no surprise that it came back, but it didn't come back to 7.5, and I got the 7.5. So I'm pretty comfortable with this spot. Looking back at it now, would I rather have first half? Possibly. It's a 6 p.m. banger too. Maybe I start with a double down. God, I could start with a double down. I could add Western Carolina first half and just fucking get this night started real fast. But I'm on Western Carolina plus 7.5, minus 110. I like the spot. And I'd just be curious to see what it's done now, if it's moved. Because I didn't bet it that long ago up at 365. It was a much better number here than it was at other books. And now it's a 7. It's a flat 7. God, Army's all the way down to 4.5. I should have been on them as well. We have Jose Perez on the other side. He's on East Tennessee State Buccaneers. And they're certainly the better basketball team, undefeated in the SoCon. So I can understand why you'd gravitate towards them. That's my game 1. Jose, let's roll into the next spot on the board. And this is a very dangerous one. Before we move on, though, let's talk about our guy, Matty Ice. We have the taint play of the day in. The taint play of the day is Fordham. Fordham plus 18.5. Matty Ice says Fordham has not lost by more than 12 all year. Just won at the Bonnies. Played Dayton tough and Richmond tough. Says I think they stayed within the number here. So the taint play of the day is in, and it is Fordham. All right, Jose, my man, let's roll on to the next spot on the board.
Furman, Samford, next one on this board here. Samford 1.5 point favorites here. I've lost my tabs. There we go. Right now, Samford and Fordham has 94% of the bets and 91% of the money on Furman here. Let's see here where the line has moved. Furman opened up at -2.5, and now they are sitting at +1.5 here at BOL. -1.5 for Samford there. Same thing seemingly across the board with Samford being favored here. Heritage has the -2, but they opened it up at Samford -2 there. Bookmaker here, Samford -1 opener, got down to a pick 'em and then went back up to 1.5 there. So it seems like BOL is the only place that opened up with that Furman -2.5 here. Very interesting, but all the money on Furman here. The line seeming to move towards Samford.
Yeah, and I watched Samford in the Catamounts game, and Samford looked horrible to get started, and then came on strong. That was not a nice performance that they're coming off of on Saturday. And we have Spooner on Furman. I am on Samford again. Samford also has trouble hitting their free throws down the stretch. It can be extremely, extremely irritating. But Chattanooga took them out. They didn't play very well. They shot 61% from the free throw line, 7 of 22 from 3. Faulkner had his day because he seems to always have them, but they didn't play well. And the Mocs, took care of business. Furman, 12-5, 3-1 here. They went into Chattanooga and beat them comfortably. They also did lose at home to Western Carolina. We talked about that spot. We were watching Catamounts play better basketball, but here Furman destroys VMI. We know VMI is trash. They beat them by 21. It's really no different than what Samford did to VMI. Samford beat VMI by 20. So we have similar situations there. I just think this is a really nice spot for Samford. Their one home game since Christmas, they just didn't fire. They looked bad. They overlooked Western Carolina. Nobody's overlooking Furman right now. Furman is sitting here second in the conference, 12-5 overall. And I think Samford has what it takes to take them out. I got them on the money line at -126. I saw that it moved from dog to favorite. I watched that happen, and I think it makes sense. I think that Pete Hanna Center should be bouncing, and the Bulldogs, Paladins, this is a huge game in the SoCon. They know how big of a game it is, and I think they take care of business. I'm on the Samford Bulldogs here, Jose, on the money line.
All right. What line was the money line at?
-126. Oh, let's take a look quickly at Action. Here, Action has just want to see what they've got for this side.
And for a reminder, there is now 88% of the bets and 90% of the money on Furman. So I guess you just trickled your bet in there, Jimmy. It went from 91 to 88, and then there you go.
And I've got no information on the side on the spread, but here, according to Action on the money line, 25% of the tickets are on Furman and 52% of the cash. Clearly, the book's moving this towards Samford is a confidence builder for me. Spooner says Furman has the size advantage. 6'5" star point guard will be guarded by a 5'11" point guard. When he drives and draws help, House will drill open threes. And Spooner says don't care about the market here or the line. So you have Spooner very confident in his Paladins for this spot. And he's not alone. Robert Cherry also with him on Furman. And copy and paste Robert Cherry's Action. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Right now, college basketball feels like the sport where if you know the X's and O's of these coaches and stuff, it will help you the most.
And maybe now that we're in conference play, I think that adds an extra edge in conference play.
Interesting.
But heads up against Spooner here. He's on Furman, and I'm on Samford. Let's roll into our next spot. We head over to the Sun Belt.
Sure, let's go to the Fun Belt here. Marshall versus Coastal Carolina here. No market information for us in this game yet, but I can tell you that this line hasn't really moved all that much yet. I'm going to give it a refresh. It opened up at 8. We're seeing 8.5s and some 9s actually pop up here as well. So that's interesting. Like I said, BOL opening at 8, 8.5 there. And Bookmaker 8.5 opener, now a 9 there.
I think this is a smash and grab. I wonder if I add the Western Carolina first half and double down there, I should probably double down here on Marshall first half. Coastal Carolina just had a 4-game homestand. They lost the first 3 games. They lost by 18 at home to Georgia State. That's what snapped Marshall's winning streak, was that loss at Georgia State, 81-73. But at the final game of this 4-game homestand for Coastal Carolina, they beat App State 67-62. Take the pressure off, start feeling better about themselves, which they shouldn't, because the 4-game winning streak, they'd won 6 of their last 7 before this loss. Marshall's lost at Georgia State. This is a big start of a big 4-game homestand for them. They have Coastal Carolina, James Madison, UL Monroe, South Alabama over the next 10 days. And I think that they take care of business here. I think it's just a smash and grab. So if I maybe I should focus on these. I just think that do I like it 2 times more than the other bets? And the answer is no. So I'm hesitant to add first halves on these. I could also, I guess, look at a double result. I'm sure it'd be expensive at 8.5. The double result sweet spots of teams that are 6-point favorites. But I just think this is an absolute Marshall smash and grab. Playing at home, they beat App State 88-81 at home on the 3rd. They haven't played at home since. And as I said, 4 huge games. They need to set the tone. Shout out to my guy DC Capper in the house. So yes, I'm on the Thundering Herd. I think it's a smash and grab situation. Let's roll on, my man.
We roll on to another interesting one. South Carolina, Upstate, Charleston, Southern here. And there's no other betting show that will give you this kind of action here. So don't fucking forget that. -3 opener for Charleston, Southern here. You think ESPN Bet gives a fuck about Charleston Southern and South Carolina Upstate? That's why you come to us. You think those suited and booted assholes are going to talk about this game? No, because they don't want to dive in the mud, get filthy and dirty here. -3 opener up to -5.5 now, and juice towards that -5.5. So you probably see 6s here soon. Went from 3 to 4.5 after a few minutes, and then went down to 3.5. But then they said, "Fuck it, we'll bring it right back up and push it all the way to 5.5 at BOL." At Bookmaker here, we're showing a 6 here. There, interestingly enough, this opened up at 6.5 there. The line has moved all the way around here at Bookmaker, but is now 6. Heritage, -5 opener to -6. No frills, no nonsense there. And as for the market information here, we'll pray. No information on this game, side or total, for Charleston, Upstate, South Carolina. What do you think, Jimmy?
Oh, God, I think the Buccaneers destroy Upstate at the Buccaneer Fieldhouse here.
We're not talking Tampa Bay.
I think they destroy them here. So I think South Carolina Upstate is a bad basketball team. I mean, it's easy to say. They've lost 4 straight. The only one, I guess a couple weren't by. They lost by 9 at Youngstown State. They lost by 7 at Radford. They lost by 9 at Presbyterian. And they just lost at home by 21 to Winthrop. And, you ask yourself, what do you need to have to beat the worst team in your conference or the worst team in your. Now, maybe you could say Gardner-Webb's the worst team, but that's arguable. Maybe it's not that arguable. Gardner-Webb's trash, but Upstate's bad. And so what do you need to not overlook them? Well, you need to be coming off of losses. And look who it took to beat Charleston Southern. They lose 81-77 at Winthrop. Winthrop just beat SC State by 21 at SC State. Then they lose to High Point in overtime, 84-82. Who are the best 2 teams in the conference? High Point and Winthrop. So you have Charleston Southern angry, coming off 2 losses, and they're just going to take it out on the Spartans. I got the -5 at -116. So maybe this isn't the right price range for the double result. I'll decide if I'm going to move, if I'm going to double down on these other ones. Now I need to double down on enough of these, and I feel like this works. So I've got everything that I need for the much better team to be accountable. Coming off 2 losses against the best teams in the conference, they're not going to overlook this trash Spartan squad, and they're going to get their 3rd win. The Charleston Southern Buccaneers going to get their 3rd win in conference play. So I'm on the Buccaneers here, Jose, and ready to move on to Clinton, South Carolina.
Ahoy to the Buccaneers here. Let's go to the mighty Presbyterian. When I think of Presbyterian, I think of that fake play they ran in football where they threw it behind the line, bounced it to the guy, and it was a fumble. Shout out to Presbyterian. UNC Asheville on the other side here, 3.5-point favorites as of now. I'm seeing actually 2.5s and 2 3s across the board here now. BOL has 2.5 for UNC Asheville, opened up at -6 for UNC Asheville at BOL. At Bookmaker here, a interesting story. UNC Asheville at Bookmaker, they opened up at 1.5 for whatever reason. It got all the way up to 6 and came right back down to the 3 there. Fascinating moves there. And at Heritage showing a 4 right now. Apparently they opened it before and have not moved it since. It sounds like Jimmy is on the mighty Blue Hose here, I think the Presbyterian is.
Yeah, Blue Hose.
Well, there's no market information on the hose, but let's hear Jimmy's love of the hose that are blue.
UNC Asheville is a good basketball team, and they've been good to me, and I'm nervous fading them here. They've won 2 straight games, came on the heels of 3 straight losses, but they just destroyed Radford at Radford on Saturday. They're feeling very good about themselves. And the Blue Hose, we talked about it earlier in the year, had a very tough schedule to put them in a situation where they could, beat up on teams in conference play in the Big South. Now, that hasn't really happened. They're not beating up on teams, but look what they did earlier in the year at Georgia State. We just talked about what kind of basketball team they are. At South Carolina, at Sacramento State, at Cal. They only lose by 10 at Cal. At UCLA, at Wofford, at East Carolina, at Manhattan, at Radford, and at Longwood. So that's that. Like I just think that they set themselves up for these situations. And now they have a tough UNC Asheville squad. They're coming off 2 losses. They know how important this game is. They don't want to start out 1-3 in the Big South. And I think that they can menace at home against UNC Asheville with Asheville feeling so good about themselves. So like Resmob is saying, he's got hose in different area codes, man. I'm on the Blue Hose here to snap their 2-game losing streak. It's their 2nd home game since in 2026. And again, what was the reason for those battles across North America was so that they would be confident here in conference play. And they have back-to-back losses. They're coming back home. I'm on Presbyterian. I got +4, -110 at Bet365. And I think that they menace here. I'm on them. And Templeton Center, man. Hope the Templeton Center is jam-packed with Blue Hose fans, man. And let's roll to Laramie, Wyoming for our next spot.
Spoon echoes. Jimmy does not discriminate. Loves hose of all colors. Blue, green, doesn't matter.
That's true.
Loves those hose.
That's true. And the older you get, the more respect you have for hose.
Of course. They work hard for their money. Some would say they put in the most work for their money. San Diego State, Wyoming. And in rare occasions, the hose can make you money. And hopefully they make you money today, Jimmy. San Diego State here. We have no market information on this game either. But I can tell you that this line opened up at 2 at BOL. Has not really moved. It got down to a pick 'em at one point, which is funny. Then climbed all the way back up to San Diego State -2 here. Some 2.5s on the board here. Heritage, by the way, also opens up at 2, has not moved, and Bookmaker opened up at -1 San Diego State and is at 2.5 now.
Yeah, the market is a little concerning. Excuse me. It's Action saying that Wyoming is very public, which I didn't expect. 85% of the tickets, 87% of the cash. I would guess that that's because the money, yeah, and that's it. It's because no one's betting San Diego State -1.5 when they just take them on the money line. So 81% of tickets, 90% of cash on San Diego State money line. So that takes all that concern away. Look, I don't think anyone's like waiting in line to fade the Aztecs in conference play. I'm not, but I thought this was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up to back Wyoming at home against the Aztecs, who are undefeated in the Mountain West. Wyoming, last time we saw Wyoming at home, they absolutely annihilated UNLV 98-66. If you look at like when have they dropped the ball at home, it really was only that game right before Christmas. I mean, that's their only home loss. This team's beating up on opponents at home, sitting, they're annihilating some of these opponents. They won their first 7 home games all comfortably, and then they lose to Grand Canyon in the game before Christmas. So I mean, it's you can explain that their heads just weren't in it. They were on a 3-game winning streak. They'd won 5 of 6, and they just. So what they do? They came back. They won at Air Force. They lost at the Lobos. They annihilate UNLV at home. That's their first game. That was their only game they played at home since that debacle against Grand Canyon right before Christmas. They go to Nevada and they lose 92-83. This is a tough place to play. Res Mob is on San Diego State Aztecs. Look, they're undefeated. They're undefeated in conference play. I think there's a very fishy line. And I think that Wyoming knows how important this basketball game is. Does San Diego State? I mean, they're Utah State's undefeated. It's the Lobos they're worried about. Does San Diego State care that they're in Laramie? Because Wyoming cares enormously. I really like the spot. I think it's a fishy number. I got the +2 for Wyoming at -110. And again, last week, I faded some of these teams that were undefeated in conference play, and it worked poorly. And here, this is the second spot that I'm doing it because I'm fading East Tennessee State Buccaneers, at the Ramsey Center. And I'm doing it here. I'm on Wyoming +2 at -110. And I'm ready to talk about Saturated's Illinois Fighting Illini.
Let's talk about Brad Underwood here and the Illini. Northwestern on the other side here, 8.5-point favorites, are the number 13 team in the nation here. At our friends at BOL, we have a 9.5 opener. Got down to 8.5 at one point and has come back down to the opener at 9.5 here.
Oh, damn.
As for side and money, we've got 50-50 ticket splits and 85% of the money on Illinois here. And Bookmaker, by the way, showing the 8.5. It opened up at 9 here. And let me actually refresh here because I'm seeing actually now 9.5 there as well. So let me double check here real quick for us here. Yeah, Bookmaker showing 9.5 now. Opened up at 9, got down to 8.5 there. And then the same thing across the board here. 9.5 at BOL, opened there, but got down to 8.5. So interesting.
That makes me uncomfortable. Look, I don't want to fade the Illini ever. The Illini have played 3 road games this year. They haven't covered 8.5 in any of them. They played at Ohio State, at Penn State, at Iowa. I think it's fair to say that Northwestern and Penn State is a wash, or Northwestern might be better, might be. Northwestern's lost 3 straight games. They lost at home to Minnesota by 6. They lost at Michigan State by 10, and it took overtime to lose at Rutgers. Look, we saw what Illinois did to Rutgers, but that was, in Champaign. This is not. And I just don't see why Northwestern can't be in this basketball game. Saturate says, I've seen this Illini squad lose in Evanston many times over the years, but they handled Rutgers and Penn State. I think they can handle the Nerds. But isn't there a situation where they handle the Nerds and I still get paid at 8.5? This Illini team is just so they're a veteran squad. They do the job. They get it done. They get the win. They get out of town. Ronnie Lofton took Northwestern plus 8.5. Look, I do not like this line's gone against me. If I thought this line was going to continue to move towards Northwestern. I got the 8.5 minus 110, 365. It was a shorter price at offshores at the time. And this makes me nervous. This number around this is just over it, but between 6 and 8, my ROI is much higher on first halves than it is on full games. But I took Northwestern full game. I'm on Northwestern plus 8.5 minus 110. And I'm comfortable enough here that the Illini can win this basketball game and I can still get paid. Northwestern's going to give them a tough shot. They're going to give them their best shot. This team has played one home game, since in 2026. I think everybody's going to be excited for Northwestern playing Illinois. I fully expect Welsh Ryan Arena to be packed and Evanston to be bouncing about this game. And I think they can take care of business. I think they're more than quality here. Shout out to Markel in the house. Thank you for being a member of Pub Sports Radio. El Capo says Illinois too good. It's Croatia and Serb players. Yeah, they're really good. But there's, we talk about proof of concept, something that I've been unable to deliver as I was talking about it so much last week, which I thought I had. Was building the sample size to prove it, but Illinois has not covered this number in 3 road games. This game means way more to the Wildcats, who are 0-5 in the Big Ten, than it means to the Illini, even though the Illini have lost games in Northwestern in years past, as Saturday is talking about. Look, I'm on Northwestern plus 8.5. That's my 7th bet of 8. We have our final spot in college basketball here at University Park. And then we have NBA with Darryl Rice, and I'm excited about it. So let's roll into our final spot on the board, Jose.
There we go. Final spot on the board. UCLA versus Penn State. The mighty Mick Cronin's, who wine time hopefully wants gone immediately. Fighting here. BOL showing a 3.5. Opener at 3.5. Got up to 4.5 for a minute and then came back down. 3.5 minus 115 right there. Bodog showing a 4 already, but everyone else showing 3.5 as well. Let's see here. Bookmaker showing a 4 opener, now down to 3.5, which is semi-interesting. Penn State getting more bets and money here. 69% of the bets, 68% of the money on the Nittany Lions here.
I guess that makes me a little nervous, but I am on Penn State. So here's another 0-5 conference team that I'm backing against the Bruins. I just, I want the Bruins to prove that they can beat any team in the Big Ten on the road. That's all. They lost to Iowa by 13. They lost to Wisconsin by 8. Penn State's losses are mounting. I get it. They're mounting. I think we can excuse what happened versus Pittsburgh right before Christmas, right? I think you just put a line through those games right before Christmas. Kids know they're going home. I think their heads aren't in it. But they lost at home to the Illini by 8. Then they lost at home to Michigan by 2. I mean, that showed that this team might be better than the record indicates. Then they lose at Purdue by 8. These are very strong losses. And now they come home and face UCLA, a team that we question their heart, we question their character, we question their coaching, and we question their ability to travel. UCLA went to Washington and won by 2. And I told you about those games in Iowa and Wisconsin. You know, when do you want? So if I'm right and they lose outright, now I got the plus 3.5 minus 107. But if they prove that they can't travel and they lose Penn State, maybe we have some interest in them at Ohio State. My dude's play today is the Aztecs. Here, my dude moving on the Aztecs. So, Spoons Bet says, I don't think you should excuse any loss in any spot to Pittsburgh this year. I mean, if you don't excuse it, then you can't back a team that lost by almost 40 points at home to Pittsburgh. But I can, and I'm doing it. So, look, I want UCLA to prove that they can go on the road and beat a team in the Big Ten. Until they do that, I'll bet against them being able to do that. I'm doing that here. I think if you look at UCLA, you'd say you could comfortably say, well, this is an easier opportunity for Penn State than who they've been facing. And that's completely fair. I mean, they just played 3 ranked teams in a row and quality: Illinois, Michigan, and Purdue. And I think they can take it out on the Bruins, man. I'm on Penn State. Bryce Jordan Center will be popping. So I'm on Penn State plus 3.5. So going over the spots, I did get more confident on 3 of those spots, and that's being Western Carolina. I got the plus 7.5. I could add the first half in that one. I could. I want to sit with it for longer, but I have a Samford, not comfortable going up against Spooner, who's on Furman. I have Marshall. I think I should add to that. I think it's just a smash and grab for the Thundering Herd. I like Charleston Southern to beat up on Upstate Spartans. I think I can double down on those 3 spots. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Then I'm on Presbyterian plus 4, Wyoming plus 2, Northwestern plus 8.5, and Penn State plus 3.5. I like my card. Now, being confident in your card doesn't necessarily equate to more money, but I like this card, and I am I'm hopeful, Jose. I'm hopeful. College basketball. Now we shall see, but it is time to roll into NBA here with our next guest. So Jose, thank you. Thank you so much, man. And Spooner says, speaking of Pitt, he is fading them as a favorite on the road today. I will review, just before you leave, Jose, I'll review Spooner's action here. He's on VCU minus 4.5, Boston University, Georgia Tech. I came very close to Georgia Tech. I will take another look at all these spots. When you guys have action, I copy and paste them, and then I give another look after the show. So I'll take another look. He's on Tulsa minus 3.5. He's on Quinnipiac minus 7.5. As I said, he's on Furman. He's on St. Bonaventure. Ole Miss at plus 10.5. That's also Res Mob's respect play today. He's on Oregon State. He is also on Michigan. And Stack's play of the day number 2 is TCU Horned Frogs. TCU Horned Frogs. And there we go. That is our college basketball for Wednesday, January 14th. Jose, thank you for your help, my friend. It's time to get into NBA, where we've been delivering the goods. Jose, and are you cool to jump back on to put a bow on the show after NBA? Beautiful. There's our guy, Jose Bouquet, just a little over 24 hours away from being in Las Vegas, Nevada, man. Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's bring on our next guest. Man, I thought his cap last Wednesday of the Orlando Magic was spectacular. But it's been one of those years for our next guest where he's just snake bit. His cap got me on Orlando Magic money line. So when Banchero hit that fucking bank job from, the bottom of the logo, I cashed. He didn't with the -2. That's just the way it's going for him this year. But I know, and I've watched him hit 60 or 59.6%. I've watched him crush for a season here, and I know he's about to deliver for us. It just takes routine, and we haven't really gotten our routine yet. We had the holidays here. I think the fact that the consistency of us capping together every Wednesday will bear fruits. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California, our guy. It's Derl. What's up, Darryl, how are you, my man?
Jay, what's good with you, brother? How are you, man? How are you?
I'm good. I think so much of the North is sick. Everybody's sick. So I
Hmm.
hate that. It's freezing cold outside. I hate that. I
Yeah.
think the only thing really keeping me going, honestly, is knowing that I will be at Pubapalooza. Also, speaking of which, this record here in NBA, I don't have that day you had with Jose.
Right. I
It's
got to
not
get that
there.
over
So
to you.
I'll have to go over that video
Okay.
and get that because nobody has any record at this point of the
I
actual.
told you I was supposed to. It's easy. All I got to do is just look at my past slip. I'll just. That was 2 Wednesdays ago, right?
I have the date here, and I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, I'll get that to you. It's been really busy for me, man. I'm sorry, but
No worries,
it,
no worries at all. Look, we believe in you enormously. The records are just for accountability.
absolutely.
I've had colleagues that I respect tell me why they don't use records, and it's not to hide what's happening on their show.
Right.
They
Right.
have other ideas behind it. I
Well,
always thought that, and we were told when I first went down to Costa Rica not to show records, and it was because what if you struggle?
mhm,
And
mhm,
and both Peter and I fought against it because cappers want to see the real story. And
right.
can you climb out of holes? And then when you watch
Right.
somebody climb out of a hole, you get that much more respect for how they've handled their business.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
we
Yeah.
believe in you.
I don't. This is just the nature of the business that we're in, right? Regardless if you are a seasoned capper, been doing this for eons, or a recreational capper, this is just the business that we're in, where there is accountability. Fact of the matter is you are what your record tells you what you are, right? So, for me, this let me just keep it real with you for just a quick second, and peace to everybody in the chat, man. Really appreciate y'all. This has been a pretty close knit family, the same people for the last 5 years. So you can never want to have too much success too early, because what ends up happening is when you are in a position to where you are losing, you second guess yourself. And this has happened, and this losing trend, man, has really been even since last basketball season. So the 24-25 season. And I'll be straight honest with you, man, and everybody in the chat. Like, sometimes I don't even want to do it because I'm looking at how I'm watching the games. I'm absolutely watching these games, right? Like, when these games are on, I've got three screens going. I've got NBA League Pass and all that. So it's not like I'm not watching these games or just going willy-nilly. Um, but the fact of the matter is that when you're in a downward spiral, um, it makes you second guess if you even want to do it, to be honest with you, right?
Mhm.
Because there's more to our lives, especially being married men with children and stuff like that, than being able to sit down and cap. Now, your record is what your record is. And the bottom line is, somebody is going to be more apt to listen to someone who has a winning record than a losing record. So when I do lose, man, I've got my money on it. You know what I'm saying? And people who have told me their money is on it as well. And you don't want to lose your money, but you don't want other people losing their money because of something that you said.
Oh, it hurts.
So yeah. So all in all, I appreciate the transparency, man, because honestly, I have been downright sucking. Now, here's the funny thing to it, and I've got the receipts to show it. It's the games that you don't post and the games that you don't share with everyone are the ones that win, right? And then the ones that you're really vibrant and really positive and really confident about are the ones that lose. So it's just this never ending, merry-go-round with how, bets are made. But all in all, Jimmy, we're here. It's a job that we got to do, and we just pray for better results next time. So let's get it.
Let's get it. And when I talk about records, I don't mean people just telling you what their record is
Right,
without
right,
having the proof of it
right.
posted pregame with
Right.
lines that are available.
Right.
Very
Right.
few people do that. You'll hear someone, and I also, when someone is up 160 units, and you're like, well, I mean, so every bet's a 10-unit bet,
Right.
you're basically at 16 units, So
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So there's lots of intricacies around what I find legitimate here, but that Magic game was a perfect example.
Yeah, man.
Your Magic breakdown not only got me on the Magic money line, which cashed me, but it also got me on the Knicks against the Clippers. I used the same storyline. So your breakdown made me 2 units, and then you lost a unit because of the -2. So you're just snaked it right now. And I know that
absolutely.
we can change this around, and I've watched you do it. I've watched you do it. So let's.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the confidence that you have, Jimmy. I do. Because like I said, I am seriously watching these games. I am looking at numbers all the time, and I just need to sharpen up and get a little better. So let's start today.
And the consistency of us working together is important. Every Wednesday we're both going to be here. We're both going to rock, and I think that's important. Let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Toronto Raptors 24-17, 11-8 on the road at the Indiana Pacers 9-31, 7-15 at home. We're at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. We have these Raptors 6-4 over their past 10, 22nd fastest pace in the NBA, 98.55 possessions a game. And this basketball team, the way we talk about this team, it's not Scotty Barnes being talked about the most right now.
CMB.
Oh yeah. Everybody's talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. And I do this every time I interrupt you, but when you start talking about language, man, it's like, yeah, you're right. But where has that switch came from?
It's still the Masai roster type. This guy's got Masai written all over him. He can play all positions.
Yeah.
He plays. I mean, it's amazing when you're like, wait, he's 20?
He's 20 years old, brother. Yeah.
And then you ask him, you're CMB, like, well, how are you managing playing with these boys? You know what he says right away? I lift. This guy lifts nonstop. He's working out nonstop. He lifts nonstop. He's big enough to have the confidence to bang with these guys. I lift. That's the first thing that he answers every time. I lift. And they say right now, this is the gym rat meaning the locker room, really. This guy's working out nonstop. He's pushing everybody to work out nonstop. He is the leader of the weight room, and he's 20 years old.
Insane, brother.
Oh, he's an absolute beast. We got action coming with Rod Zawacki in the house. Rod says, bet on Toronto on the money line versus poor rebounding teams. Rebounded by opponents by 3 per game. Toronto's record since the 2025 season, 21-5. That makes sense because they're not that big, but they hustle. That angle really, really makes sense. We got Robert Cherry. He says, give me the Pacers money line. Justin McKelvey on the under 224.5. Now we have some concerns here on Isaiah Quickly. It's questionable. He's got a back issue, so he's dealing with back spasms. Also, and I don't, because this has been kind of blowing up in my face all of a sudden. That it was helping me before, but these late additions to the injury report, some of them would still go, right? Some of them still play. So I don't want to get too caught up in it, but he is listed as questionable right now. And Mamakashvili is sick right now. So if he doesn't go, we'll see more battle in Mobo. So that's the situation here. Pirtle out, of course, as well. And then to think that no problem, just put 6'7" Colin Murray Boyles at the 5. 20-year-old Colin Murray Boyles is insane. It's insane that he's capable of this. Like, we're just all like blown away. Mathurin and Toppin out and Jackson out as well. So starting 5 for the Pacers: Nemhard, Furphy, Naismith, Siakam, and Huff here. Turnbuckle Tommy also on this under 224.5. We have the Pacers 3-7 over their past 10, third fastest pace at 103.30 possessions a game. And they have won 7 of 22 games at home. These Pacers. They're a little better here. This line is a 2. It opened up at 3. So the Raptors are 3-point favorites. 8:44 p.m. when this line opened up. By 10:30 p.m., this was a 1.5. That turned out to be the low water mark. We're now back at a 2. This 2 is juiced towards the Raptors, so possibly a 2.5 incoming. From a total standpoint, we're down to a 222.5. This opened up at 224.5, immediately went down to 22.5, and then climbed back up. This was again 224.5 at 9:52 a.m. Now we're back at 222.5. So we've had a 2-point move towards the under. And when we get to the cash flow here, 69% of the tickets and 93% of cash on Toronto. So anybody who's gravitating towards the Pacers, I get it. It makes sense to me. 62% of tickets on the under and 74% of cash on the over. Dutch says LBJ turned back the time machine last night, 31, 9, and 10 in 32 minutes. Great to have you, Dutch. Perfect timing because we're talking NBA. Take it away for us, Derl. Raptors, Pacers.
Raptors still top 10 defense in the league, and Indiana is in the bottom of the offense, bottom floor of the offense. I would personally, I don't have a play on this game. I really didn't like it. If I were to make a play, and I might get there, I just have to look at the numbers a little more deeply because right now they're very similar, and that would be the first quarter. Toronto -0.5 first quarter. Just take Toronto money line here. But I really want to get to the window with CMB. Like there's something special about that kid, and they just kind of, I don't know if you just got to jump on the train now and just just see when it stops. But both games against the 76ers, 12 and 17, 7 against the Celtics, and then 4 against the Hornets, but played the Hawks now with 17 points. So I just think if you've got these sorry ass teams, he can go to town on them, and even good teams at that. So I think there is value with taking CMB's points. They're at 10.5 right now, and I believe that is juiced on my end, juiced to the over. That's the only way I could probably play this game would be Toronto first quarter or CMB points. Haven't gotten there yet. Nothing official.
Pacers have their first 3-game winning streak of the season. They won at Charlotte Thursday, 6 days ago. They came home for a 4-game homestand. They beat Miami by 24 points to get it started. Nembhard went for 29. Then they beat Boston on Monday. On the other hand, the Raptors had the 2 games versus the Sixers, and we had the Kyle Lowry party.
Yeah.
As well. And then
what he came in like the last 3 minutes and shot up 3 threes.
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. It was good to see him back. I ain't gonna hold you, man. It was good to see that the city still love him.
Oh, damn, yeah.
The city still love Larry, man. So it was good to see it.
He's the greatest Raptor of all time. It's too bad. It's too bad that that's the situation. But look.
Yeah, he got the bad end of the deal there.
Well, it's just.
Well, DeRozan, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm I'm talking about the championship era when DeMar was shipped out of there before Kawhi.
And that was his best friend, DeMar, as well. He's been a class act and a great player, and he'll have a statue. Yeah. He'll have a statue as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's talks about it. So we thank Kyle Lowry enormously for all he did for us. But this is, as Saturated saying, the 4th game in 6 nights. It's the 3rd game in 4 nights. So they played Philadelphia on Sunday, played Philadelphia on Monday, flew to Indiana on Tuesday, played the Pacers on Wednesday. I think this is a sharp move towards the Pacers. I don't know if I can get there. But I think that they're finally feeling good about themselves. I think you guys are on the under, are probably on the right spot.
Yeah.
Oh, Kingu, you're right. No, look, we're thankful for Kawhi the 1 year he was here. We didn't want to watch DeMar ISO ball anymore. Rod Zawacki says, bet under the first half total in Darko away or neutral games off a home loss by 10 or more. First half under is, as Coach Toronto, 14-1. I think you guys are right here.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the numbers for them and the last 3 of their first quarter and first half, and Toronto is absolutely trending downward.
Dutch saying he likes them, but it's hard to press the button. It'd be better if the Raptors were coming off sweeping the Sixers in those 2 games.
He likes the Raptors or the Pacers?
Pacers,
yeah.
but it's hard to press the
Yeah.
button. I like the
Mhm.
Pacers. Again, Raptors coming off a loss, but I think that, winners of 3 straight, your game 3 of a 4-game homestand, I might be able to get there. I might be able to
Yeah.
get to the Pacers here, but again, the 2 losses in a row,
Yeah.
it is tough. Let's move on, Jose, to the Cavaliers Sixers spot here. But I do want to mention something that what Spoon's talking about, and he started it earlier, about 10 minutes ago. And he says, so this is from 10 minutes ago, and then we'll have a second comment. He says, I don't watch every game I bet anymore. He says, I don't think it's crucial to the outcome. I've started watching reruns of past games when I'm capping the card and have the quad in the background. And then he says, I honestly think watching too much of what you are betting can become a detriment. Our eyes play tricks on us. They lead us further down the path of bias. We need to know all our biases, not add any. And when I first went down to Costa Rica, I was insanely jealous of Loshak.
Why is that a pivotal time? You mentioned Costa Rica twice. Is that when you started capping? When you went to Costa Rica?
No, I just got a job capping.
In Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I was just doing it, 2 shows a day,
right,
on YouTube and shit like that. And so when I went down there, I was so jealous of Loshak because I was watching all of these games, and while I was jealous because all these biases I have, I was reading about Spanky, beating these like they beat the line by 3.5 points. It's half an hour. I remember I was watching this video of him and his partner. It was half an hour before the game started, and they went out for dinner. They had won. They didn't need to watch the game. They beat the line move by 4 points. Their job is done. And I was like, oh man, you don't have the biases. I was so I think there's a ton of truth to what Spoon's saying. And I've always said that the watching all these games, it hurts you.
So this is my reasoning behind it. And it is just the way you cap, right? Which some people are logistical guys where they just look at the numbers. They don't have to watch one game. It's just the numbers themselves, whether they're looking at the lines or whatever, and they're able to just spot a shady ass number. And then some people are, situational cappers. You know what I'm saying? There's all different types of caps. Me, I've never been label myself as a smart guy, right? So the best way for me to get the information is by literally watching the game just to see what I do see. I've never heard it that way before, and it probably makes sense as watching too many games is just kind of a detriment to how you cap the game. Maybe that's something I need to, look further into and make a determination. Hey, this is something I agree with because it does make sense.
I think that we watch, like, for me, my reasoning is because I'm live betting. And it's
right.
My ROI
is
much better live betting watching a game than it is with my pre-flop action. Live betting has kept this whole thing going. It's got me out of trouble. It's got me everything. It's even that Wednesday last week when I got crushed in college basketball, I had a monster live betting situation because all my teams went way down, and I was live betting them, and I only live bet them once. I only live bet them once. In NFL, I'll do it more than once, but and it didn't pull me out of it, but it helped a lot.
The bottom line, man, is I really love NBA. Like I can sit down and just watch ball all day. And it's the only sport I could do that with. Not football, not baseball, not anything else. But NBA, man, regardless of how bad the product has gotten, a lot of complaints I definitely have LeBron fatigue right now. Like I'm really there already. But I can literally watch ball every day, all day, man. I just love the game that much.
Oh, that's important. That's very important. Well, let's roll on. Let's roll on to this Cavaliers Sixers spot.
Yeah.
We have Wade out and Strus out. We have all of the Sixers questionables are probable. So Oubre, George, Embiid, Edgecombe, all probable and expected in. Cavaliers 22-19, 8-9 on the road. Philadelphia 76ers 22-16, 10-9 at home at Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Cleveland 5-5 over the last 10, playing at the 5th fastest pace, 102.65 possessions a game. Philadelphia 19th fastest pace, 6-4 over their past 10, 99.01 possessions a game. Let's get the line history set up. in the rest situation, we know, of course, Sixers were just up here in the 6. We have this total at 236.5. It's dropped down from 240. Dropped all the way down to 236.5. 236.5 is the low water mark where it's at right now. The last move was 33 minutes ago at 1:22 p.m. From a point spread standpoint, we have the Sixers -1 and -105. They opened up -1.5, got up to -2, and then back to 1. And then let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot. Cash flow wise, we have 74% of the tickets. Oh, wow, it just changed. 75% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the Cavaliers. God damn, that's massive. There's no way Action would tell us that. Of course, they're not. Action Network has a completely different story. They have 45% of tickets, 50% cash on the Cavs on the spread. On the money line, 37% of tickets, 44% cash. I do trust what I'm seeing. So here we go. Let's just quickly set up the rest situation. The Cavaliers coming off that 123-112 home loss to Utah. They're just a questionable basketball team. They are less than the sum of their parts, which is hard to imagine when we're a year removed from their regular season being so much more than the sum of their parts. So it's a tricky thing to conceptualize. They've won the Sixers won 3 of their last 4. They lost in overtime at Toronto and then beat Toronto on Monday. So this is their 3rd game in 4 nights and their 4th game in 6 nights. I mean, I don't see, Lowe's Judy saying Philadelphia fully healthy. I don't really care that much. Maybe that's a mistake. I think that the Cavaliers are a better basketball team coming off a no-show, and they should be bet. But Lowe's Judy says Philly keep it close and win it, and I can understand that. JM saying Maxey had 18 the first quarter last game, and saying that Garland can't guard him. Saturated on the Sixers -1.5.
For the record, that was against the Jazz, though. But he did have a monster first quarter.
And yeah, this is tricky. Take it away, Darryl. Cavs, Sixers.
Yeah, man. I only played one play here. I already stepped on it, and that was Sam Merrill's points. I got Sam Merrill at over 12.5 points at even money in my book. So just looking right now, there isn't really anybody else that I would look at points wise except for Sam. And this is with a healthy backcourt, if you will. Garland's playing and Donovan's playing, right? So these guys are playing. He's coming off the bench. So he's still being effective, even though his role has kind of come down a little bit. Now, I mean, anybody can be injured anytime, so his role can fluctuate. But what I see, even with the healthy Cavaliers team, is that Sam Merrill can get his points, right? So against the Jazz, he had 14. Against the Timberwolves, he had 20. Against the first Timberwolves game, 22. Pacers, 19. Pistons, 15. To get me 12.5 points against the 76ers team, to where I think that the thing that the 76ers will have, if Joel Embiid plays, then that just kind of, he's going to gather up those boards. And that puts Cleveland in a kind of a shitty situation if they can't grab boards. If Mobley and Allen can't grab boards, and those, that's going to be a sticky situation for him. So all in all, I'll keep it simple. Give me Sam Merrill over 12.5 points. This kid is balling right now, playing his role, and he's balling.
In that last Raptors game, the Sixers put up 45 points in the first quarter and 35 in the second quarter. Everything just went right. Everything just went according to plan. They're coming off a loss. They'd spent a couple nights in the same city. And I don't see this happening again. They're just going to come out of the blocks back at home and just, put up 80 in the first half. The Cavaliers are an angry group. Philadelphia probably feels good about themselves. So I would like the Cavs first half.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
okay. I was going to say because first quarter they've been shit. The Cavaliers just have to prove it. That's where I feel like right now, how they're playing right now. Like you, you got smacked up by Utah, smacked the fuck up by Utah, right? And then Minnesota, you split the Minnesota games. But I mean, you lost to Detroit, you lost to Utah, you lost to Minnesota, and now you're coming in Philly's court to play them, and they've been on a 3-game road trip. You know what I'm saying? So they got, like you said, once you get home after having a 3-game away trip, man, you get your shit done, and then you happen to be home, man. You feeling pretty good. I think Philly may be the right side, but to me, and I watched that game, like, ain't no way Cleveland should have lost to Utah at all. But we all knew that was going to happen to some degree. Why? Because Utah just came off of a 50-point ass whooping. So, maybe that's why that would be the way it is. But still, it's fucking Utah. So that's a game that you have to win.
Yeah, you blind bet those spots.
Yeah, I get it. But it's Cleveland, a fully healthy Cleveland, man. At home.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Jazz. I'm gonna take the Cavs first half. I'm gonna take the Cavs first half. I get that first quarter look from Saturated. I can look.
He likes the first quarter.
He's on the first quarter, and I know you mentioned how bad they've been in first quarters, but
they were good for a minute, and then it just seemed like they just fell off. They were on and off. So
I like the first quarter. I do. I don't want to double down. I don't think, but I mean, I'm gonna put the first quarter in parentheses, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, just give me Sam Merrill's points. I'll be happy with that.
4th and 1 in the house says that Cleveland don't have the bench they had last year with Jerome coming off the bench plus Mobley on the 3-point line. Too much. Saturated. Nothing wrong with playing God, man. Cavs first quarter, Sixers full game. Let's roll on. Next one on board. Utah Jazz at the Chicago Bulls. We're at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. We had our guy, the great Dan Kelly, talk to us about a future bet. And it was 40-1 at the time. It moved to 28-1. And I imagine that it's moved back here. The bet was the Jazz to make the play-in tournament, to participate in the play-in tournament, which was at 40-1. Now it's at 65-1 to participate in the play-in tournament. 65-1. They're 3 games out of the play-in tournament right now. 65-1 banger. Now, who needs to fall out? Well, it's only 2 teams that can. It's the Blazers and the Grizzlies. But you need, because the Clippers are going to go get in, we think. So you need one of the Grizzlies or Blazers to fall out, the Jazz to pass the Mavericks, and again, you need both those. They need to beat. I don't know how they get past the Blazers at this point. If the Clippers pass the Grizzlies, maybe the Jazz can pass the Clippers too. Maybe Kawhi could get hurt. It's 65-1 now. It might be worth.
Yeah, but aren't they tanking? I might be wrong. Aren't they tanking?
I don't think they are. Do you think they are? I mean,
I
they have a
thought they
really
were.
good young nucleus here. I mean, the idea is that they're not, but they could. That could. I mean, 65-1. We're talking. So we know that marketing is doubtful. That's a problem. So no marketing. So we have Nurkic, Hendricks at the 5-4, Williams at the 3, Mikhailuk at 2, and George at the 1. For the Bulls, of course, Giddey out, Collins out. So it's Jones, White, Okoro, Buzelis, and Vooch is your 1 through 5. Again, like talk about being snake bit. You had the plus money over 4.5 assists for Vooch. 20 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Got hooked. Yeah.
And 16 rebounds. Yeah, I mean he was all over that basketball.
Yeah.
So the Jazz are on the first of a back-to-back. They play at Dallas tomorrow. So it's a back-to-back with travel. It's a terrible situation. Coming off a victory. 4-6 over their past 10. 9th fastest pace in the NBA, 101.64 possessions game. Chicago 4-6 over their past 10. 21st fastest pace, 98.95 possessions game. Rod Zwacky says, bet on Utah when they score 121 or more points in the game. Utah record during the 2026 season, 16-3. I'm very interested to see where Ja ends up, my dude. I think that's, obviously extremely, extremely exciting to see where he ends up. And he needs a, new scenery and hopefully he's excited to be there. So the Jazz coming off the 123-112 victory at Cleveland. They've won 2 of their last 3, but of course, 55-point loss. And again, you guys, how many times have I told you, you just blindly bet any team that loses by 30 plus and your ROI is insane. And that was not my own thing. That was when my first year down in Costa Rica, there was a capper who that was his thing. He said, right away, this is like week 1. He's like, oh, it's what I do. If the team loses by 30 points, I immediately bet them the next game. And so that was not my thing. And then I watched it work and I'm in. So we have Spenny Penny Bombs making moves here in this one. Jalen Smith, double. Trey Jones, 10+ assists, a plus 450. Ayo steals as well. We have these Bulls coming off a 119-113 loss at Houston. That came on the heels of a victory, 125-107 at home over Dallas. Line history-wise, this is the Utah Jazz are plus 4.5 minus 108. They opened up at plus 3.5, and the move was to 2.5. And that move sat there for 16 hours until it got back to 3.5. And now this afternoon, early afternoon, we moved to 4.5. From a total standpoint here, we have a 240.5. So a major move towards the under. Opened up at 246.5, and it's just been one-way traffic. But this, again, didn't start moving until 1 in the morning. And now it's moved to 240.5. Just a massive, massive move to the under. Dutch Boy Fresh on the Jazz, plus 4.5 says Bulls played tough game last night. Already shorthanded. Jazz 7-3 against the spread. 7-3 against the spread. So the Bulls did have 2 games off, but that was a tough game. There's no doubt about it. 119-113 at Houston. I get the move that Dutch is on. And then cash flow wise here, 59% of the tickets on the Jazz and 93% of the cash. So it's a strange move. The 3.5 to 2.5, that makes sense. Books respecting it. The fact that it's come back to 4.5 is a bit confusing. Circa opened this up at 3 and now it's at 4.5. Circa has done this with 56% of the tickets and 84% of cash on the Utah Jazz. Now Circa has a penchant for disrespecting the action that's coming into their book. We see it often. It's more jarring when they respect it, because I would say that's 20% of the time or less that they respect the action coming in. 80% of the time they're fading the actions coming in, so this is no different. And then when we get to the cash flow for the total, we have 58% of tickets on the under, 58% cash on the over. Darryl Rice taking away Jazz Bulls.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this game. I just be frank with you about it. But I do agree with Jazz being the play. So just based on their ATS record recently, like they cover spreads. There's no problem with that. So for them to even come out and win this game outright against Chicago, I can see it, but no play for me.
Yeah, I find this move back to the Jazz, back to the Bulls, very suspect. Extremely suspect. I cap NBA as if NBA has hurt me. And I do. And it hasn't.
It's hurt me, man.
But it hasn't hurt me because I've always had this fear. I remember my first year, we talked about back being down in Central America. That first year, I closed the year up just under 10. I wanted double-digit units, but 9 plus 9.83. And it was the greatest success, just the fact that, I could hold my own in NBA. I've always just been so concerned by it. Look, this line move makes me extremely uncomfortable. I'm going to respect it. I understand the Bulls are a tired group. We've watched them fall apart in the second half often in these situations. So I get why our guy Dutch is on the Jazz. And AM's got the other angle of that. If a team loses by 30 plus, he has the blowout bet against the team that blew out its previous opponent by 33 plus. So it's both ways. Rod's wacky on the Jazz money line, and Rod's right. You're right. You're right, Rod. I take that back. You're right. This is because of marketing being listed as doubtful. This is not So this is not the situation that I was talking about before.
And then he probably just played Markkanen's props too, right? Because he's going to want to get up against the Bulls.
But doubtful, Markkanen out, and that's why it moved. So you're right. Sorry, I should have put that together. That's my idiocy. The reason why it moved back, the sharp money was moving us towards the Jazz. Markkanen's now it's out, and it moves back. That changes things. That changes my whole optic on this game. That the reason why this is dropping is just because there's no Markkanen. That makes the Jazz again appealing. Mandingo says Bulls for the win. That makes them more appealing once again. But all this money on them, I'm curious to see what happens to the market. I may move on the Jazz again. Again, like it's okay if the market moves against you. One of the things that we've watched cappers in the past. When the market moves against them, they bet it again. They get more confident. We watched cappers right now, like Spooner, who says, I predict this line's going to move against me, and here's why. And then it happens, and there's no cause of concern. Here, you just need to explain why it's moving against you. Look, I'm interested in the Jazz, and I get why Dutch is on it. Let's roll on. 8 p.m. Eastern with the Brooklyn Nets, 11-26, 6-11 on the road. The New Orleans Pelicans, 9-33, 6-18 at home. We're at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. Brooklyn 3-7 over their past 10, 28th fastest pace in the NBA, 95.01 possessions game. Pelicans 1-9 over their past 10, 10th fastest pace at 101.60 possessions a game. We have this Pelican squad with no Murray, no grand theft, but Jones is questionable. And that's important here. And no, he's being listed as out now. So that just came in. He's out. So Herb Jones is out. That's fifth straight game he's going to miss. No longer questionable, now out. Then we have Zion out. So for Zaire out. Zaire out and Highsmith out. So we have Demon, Mann, Porter, Clowney, and Claxton. For the Pelicanos, Fears, Murphy, Bay, and Zion, and Queen in. So, again, my fault. Zaire out, Zion in, tripping. Okay, and then let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have this total at 229. So here's a total that hasn't moved to the under. This is the first one we've talked about that hasn't. I mean, it's moved a half point towards the under. It opened up at 229.5, dropped down to 228. Now we're back at 229. And we get to the point spread here as well. We have the Pelicans +2 at -115. They open up +2 at -110. When we get to the cash flow, we have 82% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on the Pelicans. So just 18% of the tickets, but 39% of the cash on Brooklyn. That is very interesting. I mean, of course, I think we just want to line up to fade the Pelicans here. Spenny, Claxton, 7 rebounds and 5 assists at +260. Porter Jr. double as well. And he says he doesn't mind a Queen, 7 boards and 5 assists as well. We have Brooklyn coming off their 4th straight loss on Monday, 113-105 at Dallas. And we have the Pelicans coming off a 122-116 loss last night. So the second half of a back-to-back. They lose to Denver last night, and they're back in business here. And this is the final game of a small, short 3-game road trip. The Brooklyn flies back home tomorrow, and they play Chicago in a home-and-home. Take it away here for us, my man. Nets, Pelicans, Derl.
Yeah. Who's the last defensive rated team in the NBA right now? It's like it's not really a gotcha moment, or not like that, but just take a guess of who it would probably be.
It's got to be Brooklyn. Pelicans?
The Pelicans ranked dead last in defensive rating, 122.4 points allowed per game.
Wow. I
on a
guess, no
back-to-back.
grand theft and her being out as well. I mean, they actually had the pieces to put together a decent defense, but
Now, also on a back-to-back, this number tends to inflate further. Brooklyn's offense, while not elite, ranked at 108.7 points per game, should find ample scoring opportunities against a defense that allows 126 points per 100 possessions in clutch situations. So I read that only because you've been watching these Pelicans games lately. Like they really give all they got, and then they just fall apart in the second half, and primarily in the fourth quarter. They just allow teams to get back, and I can't really figure it out. I mean, because they're good enough to where they should be able to close games out, but they're not. Zion comes in, has good effort, but his line was at 23 and a half points. He closes at 21. The game that I did, well, before I say anything else with that, I'll say this. If you have been playing one player's prop on this Pelicans team, it's been cashing you money right now. And that's Trey Murphy points. But I did get hooked on the Trey Murphy on his last points he scored 21, and it was 21 and a half. I just made this play now, but I also made a play earlier. So the first one was with what I just read you there, that makes me pretty happy. And the reason why I moved on Michael Porter Jr.'s points. I think he's just going to be able to score whatever he wants. And right now, I'm looking at his past points, all except one game, and he gives you over 27. So he got you 18 against the Clippers. But you can play his points at 25 and a half, which I did. It's a little juiced to the over. I got it at minus 124. And I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities in this type of game. It's just basically from what I'm seeing from Toronto or excuse me, New Orleans, man. And it's just that Denver game, they were in it, man. That Orlando game, it's like they're in these games, but they just fall apart. And so with that, I would trust Brooklyn to win and cover this game. But I'm going to stick to what I like more. And in this, I like Michael Porter Jr.'s points more. I also moved while we were talking here on Trey Murphy's points. I'm just going to go back to it. I was 4 and 5 in my last 5 plays on him. So I'll just play it again. Over 21 and a half points. I got it at minus 104. Right. So we hope now, if you have looked at Trey Murphy, man, he'll kind of scare you because he has these clusters where he just goes off. So he might have like 2 or 3 points in the first quarter, might end the first half with like 7, 8 points, man. You're like, yo, like, what are you doing? Might end the first half with 5 points. I've seen that also, but he will come alive and he will take advantage, of certain spots during the game and just take off. So I do think that'll happen, especially if you got Porter shooting. I wouldn't also mind Trey Murphy's threes right now. He is shooting a lot of threes, but I feel more happy with his points. So he gave you 4 against the Nuggets. I believe that line was 3.5, so you cashed to the over there. He gave you 3 against the Magic. That didn't cash, but the 3 games prior, 7, 6, and 7. So he is making 3. So like I said, he will take off at a certain part of the game. May it be early, may it be late, but he will take off. So Trey Murphy over 21 and a half points at minus 104, and Michael Porter Jr. over 25 and a half points at minus 124.
You are in business, my friend. You are in business. I don't want to trust Brooklyn here. Playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, constant travel. It's, they're 6 and 11 on the road. They've only played 17 road games. They've been pretty good on the road compared to a Pelicans team that's 6 and 18 at home that we know is tanking. This line not moving either. All this money on Brooklyn. We know the Pelicans on the second half back. Like it's just this is not an angle that I can invest in personally, that I can trust. There's just nothing Player prop market, different story. We got Darryl moving on Porter Jr. over 25.5, Trey Murphy over 21.5. Let's roll on. Let's roll on to Nuggets Mavericks. So we have Nuggets on the second half back-to-back. We just talked about them playing in New Orleans last night. So it's second half back-to-back with travel. And then you have the Mavericks on the first of a back-to-back, but with no travel. They host the Jazz tomorrow night. We have Jam moving on the Pelicans at plus money. Look, you could make a legitimate argument on either side of these bum-ass teams, and I don't want to find my way there. Let's talk Nuggets Mavericks here. We have for Denver, of course, AD done, Kyrie out, Christie doubtful. So then we have Brandon Williams and PJ Washington questionable. Let's see if so Williams is sick. Brandon Williams is sick, so he could miss his third straight game. Max Christie's sick now as well. So does that mean we get to watch D'Angelo Russell? God, looking forward for him to be out of this league, man. PJ Washington, he's got the right ankle sprain. He'll be back at some point in the next week or so, but I don't know why. He should be listed as doubtful. Then on the other side, of course, Valanciunas and Jokic out, Brown out. And then we have questionables. We have Jamal Murray questionable. Now, Gordon and Jones are probable, but we have the ankle and the illness here. So we don't see him on back-to-backs. He just went for 35 and 9 last night. Jamal Murray's not – I would be surprised if Jamal Murray plays. Then we have Brown questionable here. Again, if he's out – Spencer Jones is now probable, so we'll see just more Hardaway. Of course – you want Brown in there for defensive reasons. So we have Jam saying that under 226.5 is easy. And Rod's Wax said the Pelicanos are 0-2 at home in back-to-back spots this year. Oh, I could understand fading them for sure. And that he's talking about straight up. It's great. So let's set this one up. Denver 5-5 over the past 10, 26th fastest pace, 96.45 possessions a game. Dallas 4-6, 6th fastest pace, 102.10 possessions a game. We have the Denver Nuggets right now plus 2.5 at minus 108. This opened up as a pick 'em. So this has moved 2.5 points towards the Dallas Mavericks. I think that's because Jamal Murray's going to be out, and some people know about it, even though it's listed as questionable, or some people, are certain of it. I didn't put that there. We have a total here at 224. This opened up at 224.5, got up to 226, and is back at 224. So no movement here. We have Mandingo moving on the Mavs money line. Let's take a look at the cash flow. Cash flow wise here, we have 80% of tickets, 79% of cash on Denver, 61% of tickets on the over, and 80% cash on the over. Again, Mavericks not having to travel. How is this not the Mavericks spot here?
Darryl, yeah, I would agree with you there as far as this being a Maverick spot. That was a tough game that Denver played against New Orleans yesterday. They had to come back and win that game, right? And you said you had a heavy dose of Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon did the work he was supposed to do. But there is another player on the Dallas Mavericks right now where if you are betting his points, you're making money. And that guy is Peyton Watson. So I do like him to go over his scores. I put that play out like an hour ago. Peyton Watson over 19.5 points. I'll love this play even more. Maybe it's probably moved, but I'll love this play even more if Jamal Murray is out. Right. But I just think that's the way to go right now. As far as the side, I don't like either side. And if you look at, there's a lot of back-to-back games today, So it does get a little tricky there with how, some of these games may play out. But I do think that Peyton's definitely got the green light to shoot. They're making plays for him. And again, he's another one that might be a little tricky. He might be very low on points in the first half, but it's just another Trey Murphy scenario, man, where you give him a minute and he'll ball out, he'll hoop. And so I do like Peyton Watson over 19.5 points. I already went there, got to the window with that. That's my favorite play in this game.
We cashed with this last Wednesday as well. Watson over, and Watson went for 30 that night.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went off. What's the VIG on your Watson prop?
Minus 114.
In business here, I think the Mavs must be bet. Rod Wacky says Denver 5 straight up wins as road underdogs on the second leg of a back-to-back. Yeah, they play with a lot of heart and character. Let's just go through them here quickly. The back-to-back spots, just because I wonder, how many came when their roster was seemingly in business. Their last back-to-back, they beat Philadelphia in overtime, 125-124 on January 5th. Pickett went for 29. That was wild. Remember, we all watched that. It was absolutely wild. Before that, their last back-to-back was a 131-130 loss at Dallas on December 23rd. So they did not win there on the road. And then we have the back-to-back before that was at Phoenix. They won 130-112. Jokic went for 26. Let's see the one before that. They lose at home to Sacramento. Jokic goes for 44, and they lose. I'm saying that back-to-back. Then they beat the Clippers 130-116, second half back-to-back. Jokic goes for 55. Second half before that, they beat the Pacers 117-100. Jokic goes for 32, 14, and 14. So I'm comfortable fading this group, but I hear what you're saying, Rob, my man. I'm going to be on the Mavericks here. Especially, no travel back-to-back. Let's roll on. 10 p.m. Eastern is our next spot. New York Knicks 25-14, 8-10 on the road. Sacramento Kings 10-30, 7-13 at home. Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Knicks 5-5 over the past 10, playing the 14th fastest pace, 99.5 possessions a game. Sacramento 3-7, 23rd fastest pace, 97.2 possessions a game. And the Knicks are on the first of a back-to-back. They play at Golden State tomorrow night. I mean, that's a big deal. It's not like they're going to play up in Portland. No, they're going to San Francisco to play Steph. This is a big deal. We have Shamet out, Hukporty questionable. For Sacramento, Schroeder, Sabonis, Murray out. Westbrook, Levine, DeRozan, Achua, and Reynaud are your starting five there. So let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow. Second to last game here on the program. Let's milk this here. We also, I forgot to mention here the stacks. Play day number one is that Sixers team total over. I meant to, so we'll talk about that when we put a bow on everything, talk about all the action here. But let's talk about these New York Knicks, man. They are coming off a 123-114 victory at Portland. That was on Sunday. So they've had a couple days off before this back-to-back. They have won 2 of their last 3, of course, came on the heels of that 4-game losing streak. It was our breakdown. That was my favorite bet of the week.
Which one's that, Jay?
When we last Wednesday, when I moved on the Knicks against the Clippers, and Clippers their first game across the country. That was on the heels of your breakdown of the Magic game. I really enjoyed those 2 breakdowns very much. So this is game 3 of a 4-game trip, and it ends after San Francisco. When these guys need to be faded is Saturday, January 17th, their first home game back. They after playing Golden State Warriors, they fly right across country, and then they get that one sleep, and then they play Phoenix. And Phoenix is going to like being in Madison Square Garden. That's got to remember that. Suns, and as soon as that line becomes available. Antoine Harris moving on flag, over 4.5 assists. Mr. Heat on the Knicks team, total over. Spenny Pennybombs. Great to have him, Spenny Pendergrass, rocking with us here. Josh Hart, rebounds and assists. Also, that's 7 rebounds and 5 assists, plus 150. And the double-double here. So let's take a look at this line history and hand it over to our guy, Derl. We have on the total at 229.5. Very little move. Well, there has been movement. This opened up at 230, went right up to 232. But now we're at 229.5. So we've had a half-point move to the under. And then on the spread, we have the New York Knicks minus 11. Opened up at 10.5 and now minus 11. God. Who wants to back this team at that number? 81% of the tickets, 88% of cash on the Knicks. And 11.5 at FanDuel, 10.5 BetMGM, 11's everywhere else. Oh, no, 11.5 at ESPN Bet and Hard Rock. 86% of tickets on the under, 76% cash on the under. God. The Knicks with the Warriors on deck.
Mhm.
I mean, come on. And we have, so this is also I'm not a trend guy or an angle guy. I love capping with people who are. We don't need to take the same route to the back. But the one trend or angle that I love so much is the double-digit favorites on the first leg of a back-to-back under. And if the first half flies over, you live bet the under at halftime. So I like the Kings and I like the under. These are two teams playing with slow pace. Now, I know that the Knicks have efficiency. The Kings don't. I'm trying to stay away from totals. I would have had a winning day if I stayed away from totals with you last Wednesday. It gave me a 4 and 5 day. Take it away for us here, Darryl. Knicks Kings.
Yeah, I was trying to look at this game because I just real quickly, I look the other way here. I think that the Kings a 117 half. Right now, New York is sitting third. Denver, Miami is tied for second. But in first half points, 61.1. And Sacramento is sitting right at 55.8. But they've had a recent uptick in their last three and are now scoring 61 points in the first half. The only way I would look at this is first half, and that's maybe to just either take the spread or take the over on the game total. I don't know which way to go with that. So I would have to do some more studying on that. I do believe that can get over 117 and a half. As far as the game itself, I don't want any parts of it. I was looking at a couple of player props here. The Josh Hart prop makes sense. Josh Hart points prop. He's been getting buckets again. Makes a lot of sense. Before that, Miles McBride was the guy to be betting because he was getting more playing time. But now that Josh Hart is back in rotation playing again because he's healthy, I do think Josh Hart is a good spot to look at as far as props and points. Other than that, I have no interest in this game.
I have developed an enormous amount of interest in this game. So I don't want to get cute. I'm not a player prop bettor.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a ex-Raptor and an ex-Knick in this game playing at the 4 for the Sacramento Kings, who is angry that he left the Knicks. Precious Achiuwa. I mean, these are the type of games where Achiuwa balls out. He's got a point to prove. I feel like even just saying this out loud, I feel like I'm getting too cute. But I don't see why Achiuwa wouldn't play his fucking heart out here.
What are you looking at? What would you be
Points
looking
and rebounds over.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so points and rebounds?
Yeah.
Okay. Points right now. Yeah, I mean, you might be onto something. He put up 9 on the Lakers, 10 on the Rockets. And right now I see his points sitting at 9.5. I'm sorry, 8.5. Juice to the under.
Yeah, let's just kind of go over what. So Achiuwa's getting good run right now, and he's angry that he's not a Knick. 9.7 boards at home versus the Lakers. So this is third straight home game. Now it is the third game in 4 nights, but we go back 2 nights ago. He played 39 minutes versus the Rockets. 10 points, 7 boards. He got hurt in that Warriors game, but before that, 9 points and 9 boards, and he came right back. I don't know if he was sick or what the hell happened to him in that game, but he only played 5 minutes. Let me take a look here. Spenny says just take his rebounds. God, I am a Precious Achiuwa fan. That's also a problem. I want to say that out loud.
Yeah.
I think he showed a ton of heart and a ton of character when he was a Raptor. I thought when the Knicks picked him up, I was like, this is a good bench piece. Wow, look at that. Kong says Dante Moore is returning. You know what? I don't know. I have a lot to. Let me sit with that for a long time.
Wait a minute. What somebody just committed there?
To Oregon?
Yeah.
Well, that's a mistake.
Was that? I thought I saw that somewhere.
I
Read
did
that
think
somewhere.
I saw someone there. Yeah, you're right now I think about it. A Godfather says Achua over 13.5 points and rebounds. Oh, yeah, of course. Jose saying it's Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, Raiola, right. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I did see it because the thing I said to myself when I saw that headline, I was like, oh, okay, so Dante really going in the league. You know, if you're going to transfer, thinking that you're going to be starting over Dante, he's definitely not going there for that. So,
Wow. Raiola. I don't mean to get joy of other people's pain. So I'm not going to sit here and.
so what would happen with that?
He'll redshirt.
Wait, but can't he rescind that?
Not if he's starting his
it's gonna-
contract. They're trying to be real stiff to those contracts. But yeah, he'll redshirt. That's what Kong's saying. So the Oregon's now the preseason favorite to win the national championships next season with a ton of talent coming in. Wow, that's wild.
That's funny, man.
I'm not a Dylan Raiola fan, so let me just say that. So I'm not going to get joy out of other person's pain. Okay. Look, I want the Kings.
Okay.
I want the Kings live if they're down 10 points at the half, because the Knicks are going to start thinking about Frisco. They're going to start thinking about Steph. I'm going to bet the full game under, and if it's flying over at halftime, I'll bet it with about 5 or 6 minutes left in the second quarter, and I'll bet it again at halftime. And then I want Precious. Now, Spenny, who is the player prop master, says so he's going to sit for 1 year to be the starter in the 27 season. Come on, man. It's crazy, but I love it.
Well,
if
if anything, that gives him that extra year eligibility.
Yeah.
Right. So
and
yeah, I
he'll
would
be in the
probably
system for a year, and
right.
they're gonna be
Yeah, I would probably do that.
And also, Spooner says you can now play 9 games and be available for red shirt starting next year. And Jerry Davis, Achua 9 points and 7 boards at plus 200. Wow.
Well, he's giving me 7 boards the last 2 games. 10 and 9. So
I just want to preface that I'm trying really hard to not, bet player props or totals, but I think he fucking plays hard tonight. I think
that's interesting.
Plays hard tonight. Okay. So look, that's my plan. Kings full game under and Achua, and I'm going to be ready to live bet the under with 6 minutes left in the second quarter, and again at halftime if I need to. Anything for you here? Do we rock into our final game on the card?
No, nothing here from you.
All right, let's roll. Our last game on the card, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Washington Wizards 10-28, 4-15 on the road at the LA Clippers. Now 16-23, 10-9 at home. We are at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. Washington 5-5 over the past 10. Second fastest pace, 103.35 possessions game. Clippers 8-2, the slowest pace, and they've been that way for a while. 94.60 possessions a game. Let's take a look at who we expect in the lineup for the Wizards. Trey and then of course Cam Whitmore out. For the Clippers, we have Bogdanovic out, of course. Zubac questionable and Kawhi questionable. Important pieces of this puzzle. So let's see what they're saying about Zubac. We have he got hurt. In that win over the Hornets on Monday. Left ankle. There's no need to bring a player back to play the Wizards.
Right.
So I think that's a very real possibility. And then you have Kawhi. He's been dealing with an ankle injury as well. So a very possible situation where they could both be sitting. And then Bogdanovic still dealing with that hamstring. Let's just take a look at Zubac here. So, we'll just get a lot more Lopez than what they would want. That's all. And then the Godfather, right, saying, look at the Collins props. Points, PRA or PR are all good. So
yeah, man, I must not be betting Collins at the right time, man. Because I'm definitely losing on his props. And he used to be a print machine too.
Yeah.
So I guess I gotta find better ways to attack him or when the plays prosper. But the times I do play them, it's like, man, I lost that one again. Should have lost.
Clippers right now minus 12.5, minus 13. I mean, God, how do you not take the Wizards at this number?
Because it's the Wizards.
5-5 over the last 10. They won 5 games straight up. You've been betting them money line. You're laughing. Let's take a look at cash flow. 60% of tickets, 81% cash is on the Wizards. And it's gone from 11.5 to 12.5, which is a bad sign. But you have to think that those cappers are saying, look, I think Kawhi and Zubac are both going to be out, and I can middle this. The pros, I mean. 80% tickets on the over, 64% cash on the under. Take it away, Derl, our final spot on the board. Yeah, Ice Trey's out.
Yes,
Sancho, tonight, my man. Tonight is Bankroll Blitz, Wednesday night, just for this week. Take it away, my man, Darryl. Wizards, Clippers.
they got smacked against New Orleans, man, and they got smacked against Phoenix. That's the Wizards. They just been getting smacked. It is not by just a little bit, man. That's why I can understand this line being at 12.5. What has always been my cap, man, when it comes to like a lot of noise and stuff happening off the court, a lot of the term I use for that, a lot of moving parts. Like, I don't mess with it, man. I don't. And you got Trae Young coming in, kind of a shitty trade. That was a lot of people's opinion. But the thing I think about is I wonder how this locker room is going to accept or interact with Trae Young. Right? Like, what type of chatter and commotions going on in the locker room about what roles are going to be played, how is our defense going to be adjusted to how he plays, because he doesn't play defense, which is another big opinion with a lot of NBA heads. So when you got that much shit happening off the court, I don't even want to deal with you. That's the way I look at it. That's just how I've always capped it. So I could only look at the Clippers here in this spot. All right, the Clippers are what? They won 3 straight. Hopefully Kawhi does play. He hasn't been officially ruled out, right?
No, he's not been officially ruled out.
Right. So maybe that should also tell you a story with the line, where you have all this money coming in on Washington, as you're saying, and that line's not budgeting. Right? So I believe that the books expect for Kawhi to play.
Yeah, that's a religion.
And so, yeah. So if that's the case, and I like the Clippers, then I should, if anything, I should play him right now, right? Why that number? Because once Kawhi is ruled in, I don't know. Maybe you get another point out of it, or the line that numbers that scenario has already been baked into that number. So either way, it looks like from what the story is saying, the Clippers are the side here. And so I would only look at the Clippers here. Have not made that official, but I do think I'm going to get there with the Clippers. I really do.
I'll tell you my thought here. The last 3 games that the Wizards have played have been horrible situations.
Absolutely. Okay, so situations.
Sorry, for the Wizards. Horrible situations. Wizards. They lost to Philadelphia by 21 on the second half of a back-to-back where they'd won the previous night at home over the Magic.
And that was the game that I took, right?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the game?
Yeah, you were on the Sixers. You cashed on that. Then we have I believe. I'll double check the spreadsheet, but that was our day. That was our game on Wednesday. And we all, I think Rod Crawford's spreadsheet play today was Sixers. We have a lot of Sixers in that one. Then we have the New Orleans loss.
Smacked the fuck up.
But that was their 3rd
points.
game in 4 nights, their 4th game in 6 nights. Then they fly the next day to Phoenix, and they start their road trip at Phoenix, and they get badly beaten.
Smack the fuck up.
They finally get a couple days off. And who cares about playing in LA? Bad teams.
That to me, this scenario in what year? Okay, so a couple of days, so it's the 14th. So it's an additional day off.
Yeah.
Right. So 3 days. Okay. So that scenario, they've flown back. They've rested up on the 12th. Didn't do shit on the 13th. We'll probably look at tape and do a little bit of practicing. And yeah, you're playing tonight. Okay. I could see it, but I could see why you think that way. But there's no way in hell that I would even look in the Wizards' direction.
Clippers playing their fourth game in. Oh no, that was their fourth game. That was their fourth game in 6 nights, third game in 4 nights against Charlotte. There've been constant travel. I mean,
Well, they stayed home too, so technically they did play a game later, but they've been sitting at home since the 12th, since the 11th. They've been sitting at home.
Yeah, they flew home from Detroit on the 11th, played Charlotte on the 12th, got a day off on the 13th, and play another terrible basketball team. And what do they have to do tomorrow? Fly to Canada. No, I'm not trying to take you off anything, but I'm going to be on the Wizards. I'm going to be on the Wizards. I'm going to take them now at 12.5 and deal with those consequences.
Then I'm going to go against you here, Jimmy, and I hate to do it.
No, it's all good.
But I feel a little more stronger about. I hate to do that, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, it's all good, man. No, when you have a conviction to go up against somebody that you respect, their ROI, at least for me, my ROI is through the roof.
Yeah, I give me the Clippers minus 12.5 at minus 110. And the thing the number I was looking at also was their first half points. That was another one, but it's not enough. Not enough, in my opinion.
Who on earth wants to back the Wizards? I mean, I think this is going to be. I mean, it could be just painstaking and awful, and I could be questioning everything tonight. But another possibility is this is a team that just lost by 19, 21, and 21 in their last 3 games in terrible situations. Before that, they'd won 3 of 4. They'd won 4 of 6. They'd won 5 of 7. I'm going to deal with it.
Same here. Put that out there.
Yeah,
that's a heavy move for me, but I do like the LA Clippers scenario a little better here.
You are in business, Darryl Rice, my man. Let's review all action in NBA. I like the card. My cards come together, so I might be on the Pacers. I don't know if I get there. I'm going to sit with it afterwards. But we get our card started with Merle over 12.5 points for our guy, Derl. I'm going to be on the Cavs first half. I don't hate the first quarter, but I'm going to be on the Cavs first half. I'm going to probably move on the Jazz. Now that I had to understand that the only reason why the line moved back was because Markkanen's out. This line was moving towards the Jazz, and for good reason.
I do like that Jazz play. I do like it, but
we have Derl moving on Porter over 25.5 points. And Trey Murphy over 21.5 points. So 25.5 for Porter, 21.5 for Murphy for Derl. Then I'm going to be on the Dallas Mavericks. We have Derl
That's
on
another
Watson.
one that I like.
Watson over 19.5 points at minus 114. By the way, the 20-star play of the day from Rod Zawacki is Brooklyn. Then I am tripling up on Knicks Kings. Kings under and Precious Achua. I'm on the 2 big dogs late at night, Kings and Wizards. How sick is that? So, and then we have Derl on the Clippers minus 12.5 to put a ball on it. And then Derl, anything that you add on X, I always I cover it here, then I always go over to your X to see if you've added anything as well. And also, I'm going to figure out that missed day that you had.
I'll get it out.
With our guy, Mr. Bouquet. That is our NBA action here for Wednesday, January 14th. And I really enjoy capping NBA with you, Darryl. Thank you so much for making time for us, man. I hope that I get to break bread with you in San Antonio, man. That's our hope. We need Darryl Rice in San Antonio, Texas, man. That's what we need. We need Darryl Rice in San Antonio, Texas. I cannot wait. Remember, I'm gonna book that. I haven't got my flight. I'm booking it today. I'm gonna get in Wednesday morning or Wednesday early afternoon, and then I leave Monday late, so I can do the whole Medicate Monday day. Friday is our big poker tournament that we do in-house in our bar, and we have poker at night every night there with either Big Show or Jose dealing. It's actually opened up a really great situation for Jose because it's a moneymaker, whoever wants to deal. I mean, we tip heavy. We're drinking heavy. Every time you win, I mean, we chastise those who don't tip.
Chastise.
That's another thing. To mention that as well. So a lot of I understand why Jose loves dealing, because there's a lot of money to be made by whoever is dealing. And there is one night, we'll figure that out with Jeff, where he will stay so we can play till 5 a.m. So we'll figure out what night that will be. Yes, Spenny, if you don't want to play poker, you can go to the bar with the boys and end up in the drunk tank. Spenny, you're the man, and I can't wait to have you back in business there. San Antonio needs more Spenny penny bombs. That is our NBA for today. Derl, thank you for rocking with us, man. I'm excited to watch you climb. I popped your hand on the chat. Hit that X and follow our guy, Darryl Rice. Darryl, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Appreciate the time. I always do, Jimmy. It's really good to, at least if nothing else, sit down and talk ball. And everybody's got plays out there. Best of luck on your plays. Jimmy, we are head to head, so I'm going to be watching that game for sure, just to see what I need to correct or what I need to take note of. All right, brother. So be safe, be cool.
You know what's happened our last head to heads? Prayer, miracle, ridiculous endings. Remember from last year? Remember just like half court heaves. And I have to text you and apologize. Like I didn't deserve this, man. I didn't deserve it.
Yeah, man. We'll see. We will see. We will absolutely see today, man. All right, take care.
Much love. There he is, our guy, Darryl Rice in the house. It's Darryl in the house. Let's review all action and put a bow on the festivities here. We have Res Mob, Respect Play Day, Ole Miss +10. Spooners on VCU -4.5. Boston University, Georgia Tech, Tulsa, Quinnipiac, Furman. We're going heads up in that one. St. Bonaventure, Ole Miss, Utah State, Oregon State, and Michigan. Justin McKelvey, Stacks Play of the Day #1. We talked about #2, Horned Frogs, +12. But Stacks Play of the Day #1 is Philadelphia 76ers team, total over 119.5, -110. Shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey.
Stacks.
We have Swiggy on the Sabres parlayed with the Clippers money line. Sabres money line, Clippers money line +100. J Dub is on the Flyers money line. Kong's Clip says he will continue to fade Louisville while Brown is out. Virginia +4.5. I am on the Kraken money line. Then we have AM on the Flyers, TC on the Flyers, and Justin McKelvey on the over 6 at that one. Then we have the Rangers money line. So I'm on the over 6 and the first period over. That's the first period over I've bet all year. I'm going to add the Rangers and the Rangers team total over. Look, come on, James. Are you saying it's just easy to play goaltender next hockey league, that you can have one warm-up game in Belleville, not to play the real game in 9 months and just come in and wreck shop? Fuck that, man. So I'm going to fade James Reimer. Then Matty Ice is on Fordham +18.5. That is the taint play of the day. Taint is Fordham. We got Tommy Guns and I going heads up in that ETSU spot. I don't like it. He's also on Wofford moneyline. Tommy, good luck. Drewski, my man. Thank you for joining us. I'm very interested in moving on the Knights here. Oh, Suarez to the Red Sox. Wow, that will make Jose happier. He's had to run, but that will make him happier. I am on Western Carolina Catamounts at +7.5. I might move on them first half. I think I'm going to double down on those 3 spots I got a little more confidence in. I'm going to go figure out what additions to make right now. I'm on Samford moneyline. Hate going up against our guy Spooner on that one. I'm on Marshall minus 8.5. I'm either going to add the double result or the first half. I'm on Charleston Southern minus 5. I'm going to add the double result or the first half on that one. I'm on Presbyterian, the Blue Hose, plus 4. Then I'm on Wyoming plus 2, Northwestern plus 8.5. That line's move against me, and Penn State plus 3.5. Man, ding! Flyers, Vegas, and Kraken. Then in NBA, I'm going to finalize my card right now. Pacers might be on it. I don't know if they will be, but they might. Cavs first half will be on it. Jazz very likely to be on it. Mavs will be on it. The Kings, the under, and Precious, and the Wizards will all be on it. Rod's Wax says bet on Vegas on the money line when they allowed 2 or less goals. Vegas records in 2025 season 54-8. We have the whole card here from AM. Flyers money line, Rangers money line, Fordham, St. Louis over 149.5. For me, with this spot on Vegas, my script is LA without Kopitar and Moore are a fade, and I will bet Vegas, and expecting it not to be a big look ahead with the Leafs on deck. Vegas then goes and beats LA and then loses to Toronto tomorrow night. Hopefully that script won't be fucked with. That is our show for today. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us, man. Let's get this week started with fucking winners, man. Let's get this week started with winners. Kong says, did you put any thought into what I should do with my Broncos to win the Super Bowl future at 65-1? Yes, I did, Kong. Yes, I did. I think that you should place a bet on the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. Not big, but, just something on the Bills. And then at that point, if you eliminate the Bills, I don't know if you should do any. I would do nothing until the Super Bowl. Because I think that you can beat every team in the AFC at home except the Bills. That's what I think. So I think you should bet the Bills. And then if not with, if you really believe in your Broncos side, then you don't need to put that much on them. But bet on them to, to cover your nut and to get a little bit back. And then I don't think you need to hedge again. I don't think taking the Bills to win the AFC or the Super Bowl is the spot. But yeah, I think the Bills are going to win. Now we're about to find out about Maxwell Hairston, the injury report I'm going to run and look at. But AM says don't hedge until you're in the Super Bowl. It's another very possibility. Interesting. Thank you, Justin. Says he doesn't care that much, but he's happy about another Venezuelan. And Kripke, like others. So this is the third capper who's told me that I'm going to lose my Wyoming action by margin. Now, Spooner almost joined me on Wyoming. But everybody else saying I'm going to lose. We'll see, Kripke, my man. If I lose and you guys win, that will take a little bit of a sting off of it. But let's go get that cash from all of us here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you so much for supporting us. Remember, the Bankroll Blitz is tonight at 8 p.m. As well as, remember, Pubapalooza. Remember the Alamo. Join us in San Antonio. Pubapalooza. Jerry Davis, I love that. AOD, I love you too, man. And Spooner, the Temple line, I just felt like it moved a little too quick. And I was too late on it. See you tonight, AM, my man. Great job today. And for all of you supporting us here, it means the world. Thank you. Let's have a big week, man. Let's get after it. God damn it, on the motherfucking line. We put in the work. Let's reap the benefits. Thank you guys, man. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers. Milk that shit.
From down south, where we ride on flair. From down south, where we ride on flair. From down south, where we ride on flair. From down south, where we ride on flair.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H. I stack green like Boston, shout out to Nasty Nate. From down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Gabby Cap. Fly out to Denver for the Nugget fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Conor Mack. Call up Dutch boy, cause you know we stay fresh. What's the strain of the day, homie? Watch the daily sesh. Roll up a paper plane, light up a sparkly. If I need a strikeout prop, we gon' holler at Sharpie. Cross over to the West Coast and holler at fam. If we talking NBA, I got to hit, try, wham. Always tapping in, money's what we trust. If I need a team total, gotta hit nut flush, cause I'm fishing for bait. Smoking straight to the chest. Gotta fly out to the beta, homie, moose money bets. From bookies to west, cash and checks what we do. Cause I'm who banging with balls and the OG rag. If we need it under, I gotta hit nose. If I ladder my prop, I gotta holler big show. Now we back to the East Coast for Nicky Fish tanks. We watching UFC, keeping money in the bank. Die Hard and Danny Betts and the whole damn crew. Nick's the only guy I know can drink a brew by his shoe, but hey, that's what he do. It is what it is. I can't forget that Jersey boy, that homie Billy Briz. If I need an ice pick, I go to Ontario, holler my ice guy, Ian Bavino. And if I need some advice in trying to cash, tune into Peter Loshak and Jimmy the Bag. And hit that like button, make sure that you smash it. The famous words of razor sharp picks, cash it. I'm on my poker shit, stacking my chips. If we ever lose a bet, man, we never gon' trip. Cause I'm Mike Knight M, pimp slap player of the day. Ron Crawford spreadsheet, what more can you say? It's how we stay paid each and every day. Can't forget about the producer, say hey Jose. Tell your mother, your father, your son, and your daughter, cause nothing's going down without the Don Jeff Slaughter. All you low baggers, hold it down in the chat. If you missed all that, the remix will be back. Yeah.